This is 80s Revisited. I'm your producer, Jesse Sedgley. And now, your host, Trey Harris.
By God, get some help out here! Kilmer's down! Kilmer's down! Welcome back, everybody, to 80s Revisited. I, of course, am your host, Trey Harris. With me, as always, my loyal producer, Jesse Sedgley.
Yes, I am.
And we're back for part 4 of the second annual 80s movie character deathmatch special. Picking up where we left off several weeks ago before vacations and all that fun stuff. So, just a quick refresher. Listen to those other episodes if you want to get refreshed. There's your refresher, because I don't remember. It's been forever ago. But as we talked about at the end of the last part 3 of this, he wants to say celebrity deathmatch. It's technically celebrity deathmatch, but not in the way people might think.
Let's get it on.
I took all the winners from the initial bracket and then randomized them for randomization of opponents. Have not looked at this list until this episode. Right. And then, as usual, I will be determining I have the weapons. Jesse has the location.
Yes, I do.
Further randomizing these. One quick correction from last week. I was listening to last episode when I was on the way here. I had mentioned that if you're at Nancy's house on the movie location episode, the Strode house is down the road. It's the Doyle house. Nobody said anything, so everybody was cool about it because our fans are cool. But it's not the Strode house; it was the Doyle house down the road.
Wow!
That's where she wasn't babysitting at her own house in the movie.
You got spammed for that.
Thankfully not. Or I'm sure one person at least is like, "It's not. That's not the Strode house, Trey. You let me down." But as that one really great review says, I have the exuberance of a toddler sometimes, and I just start talking faster than I can think. And something too. If you should try this. They crack me up for at least a good 5 minutes. If you listen to our podcast on your iPhone or the podcast app, you can listen to it like at half speed.
All right.
And when I get going, listen to it on half speed. It sounds like it's like it was the part you said. You made a joke, so like I was dying laughing. I forget the exact part. We're like, yeah, man, and you go over there, and it's like, what the hell? And then you say a joke. We're like, it was like I was listening to a scene from a Cheech and Chong movie. It plays perfect as like two drunk people talking because I talk so fast sometimes, most of the time. So if you don't like that, listen to it at half speed. It's a laugh riot.
Yeah.
Like I will probably listen to a good chunk of this episode.
Most people listen at double speed.
Micro machines. That's all you're gonna hear from me. Talk too fast. True. So anyway, we're gonna continue the death match. Like I said, part 4. I was just seeing at the description because I didn't re-listen to that one. But yeah, we went through the first kind of 100 matches. So we should have 50 matches here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, we'll call it. It's 2 pages where it should be, 50 characters, so 25 matches, I guess I should say, would be the way to put it. So, without further ado, let's get this thing rolling so we can move on.
There is one change, like we're going to do something different with the weapons, huh? Oh, they each have a different weapon or something like that?
Oh, yeah. We're going to draw we're going to draw a weapon card for the first combatant and a weapon card for the second combatant. Yeah. So, they will not have the same weapon.
Change the scales.
And as we've seen, if you listen to the first 3... people you thought would die instantly have made it to the second round.
Yeah.
Or third round, I should say. 4th round, whatever we're at. So, moving immediately into the death match. Our first battle of the evening. Let me block this off a bit so I don't get spoiled myself.
Sure.
Ooh. Dennis Hopper's Frank Booth from Blue Velvet. The, not nitrous oxide, but laughing gas.
Right.
Snorting, lipstick smearing mama's boy from one of David Lynch's best films, in my opinion, versus Will Graham of Manhunter, a.k.a. the dude from CSI. So, however, I have an instant pick for this one. My money would be on Frank Booth if this was just a straight-up death match. However, it isn't, because Frank Booth has whips that can latch onto anything and a matching fedora.
Ah.
So he's basically Indiana Booth.
Could you imagine that character in that role?
Yeah, it'd be pretty great.
It'd be different.
Would it have gotten a franchise?
Probably not.
Probably not, but it'd have been great to see.
It'd be a cult classic for sure.
It'd have been that Buckaroo Banzai level. But Will Graham has chainsaws.
Whoa. Okay.
However, they are fighting
at Hell in a Cell.
God, bring back JR. I need to get like a black cowboy hat so I can just switch hats mid.
The whip is very useful in a Hell in a Cell.
Absolutely.
Although that is a challenge to get it through the fence line.
Well, I mean, he can latch it to anything because it's basically he's got Indiana Jones's whip, so he can swing around.
So he's like Larson from Eternal Champions, basically.
Very good reference. I understood that reference. Will Graham's a cop. Basically, he's a CSI investigator. But I believe he's the same character. Yeah, because he was. I'm trying to remember the Hannibal Lecter lore. The only book I ever read in that series, read book-wise, was Hannibal, because it was a big deal when it was published, because it was, the sequel to Silence of the Lambs. Seen all the movies, but I know in Red Dragon it was Ed Norton's character, and I don't think he's in Silence of the Lambs or anything at all like that. So if I remember correctly, he's more so like basically what, I forget that actor's name, because I forget it every time I can see his face, kind of similar to what he is in CSI. He's a detective, an investigator, trying to catch a serial killer. I guess a detective would be the best way to put it. And Frank Booth is a sociopath. So, even, of course, again, everybody, if you haven't listened to it this before, everybody, they know they have to kill the other person or they're going to die. It's like you have to fight or die. So Frank Booth's not going to have a problem with that. Well, Graham probably won't because he killed the whatever killer. I forget the name of the killer in Manhunter, but it was the dude that played Frankenstein in Monster Squad. Will Graham has chainsaws. Now, these are both normal guys.
Yeah.
I couldn't dual wield chainsaw. They have to be the tiny.
Yeah, it is plural chainsaws.
So
now he might just throw one down and just opt for one.
But they're also in a cell.
Hell in a Cell is to his favor, I think.
As long as he stays away from the edge, because could get hung up.
Could get hung up, but the whip can also attach to anything, including a chainsaw.
So pull him around, get him around the wrist.
Is he crafty enough to do that, though?
Does he get a second to? Yeah. He can go crazy.
Yeah, if it's a sanctioned match, then he can do that before the bell rings.
He's coming to his entrance, smears himself with lipstick, does the gas, woo, and just goes crazy. And meanwhile, Will Graham just like get it started. Now, metagaming here. Frank Booth, of course, played by Dennis Hopper, who was also in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Not that, again, that doesn't have anything to do. I'm just making the connection here.
Sure.
But he doesn't have chainsaws. But what that movie does bring up is that there are smaller kind of handsaws that you can one hand, almost like, not gauntlets, but I guess like you could dual wield it fairly easily, like those little electric chainsaws. But then, of course, a real standard chainsaw, The Rock could do it.
Sure.
A very well-endowed man could probably wield 2 chainsaws, but not Will Graham. I'm not saying he's some sort of 80-pound weakling, but I don't think I could do it, is what I'm saying.
It also doesn't have the range of a whip.
Yeah.
The whip can go corner to corner.
And again, he could just whip him around the feet and pull him off his feet.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on the accuracy.
But again, it's a chainsaw. So it's kind of that situation where it takes just one good hit.
Right.
Could he get that one good hit in? Well, the thing is, even if he did, Frank Booth, he's a fucking crazy guy. He just beat the shit out. He cut him in half. He's getting chainsawed in half, and he's just
like something out of Doom,
basically. So again, if you whatever y'all think is, there's no wrong answers in this. We're just playing. Right. We're just having fun with it. I would give the edge to Frank Booth.
Oh, okay. I was going to say 3, 2, 1 and say. But I also was going to say Frank. So
simply because
would have been the same.
I think it's just taking into the fact that he is deadly.
Right.
He is a dangerous person. No, an authorized detective. You're a dangerous person, but you're more accustomed to protecting people.
Yeah.
There's still that switch that has to be. That there's still that part of you that's there that Frank Booth doesn't have. in a sense, is what I'm kind of getting at. So
Killer instinct.
Exactly. So Will Graham gets...
If you disagree, feel free to go to your email, 80srevisited@gmail.com.
And let us know what you think.
Or if you're watching this on YouTube, post it in the comments below.
Yep,
If you're watching
let us
this on
know.
Twitch right now, post it in the chat.
I got an
Thanks
itch
for watching.
to be scratched on Twitch.
There we go.
That was stupid. Moving on. Next battle. Ooh. Cobra, as in Sylvester Stallone,
Yeah.
versus Axel from My Bloody Valentine, which we're almost into February. By the way, this is my last podcast of my 30s.
Oh, bummer.
So, yeah, the next time I podcast, I will be an old man. So,
Old man Trey.
it's good while it lasted.
Yeah.
Huh? Well, I should have saved that lame dad joke for next episode. Like, hey, welcome back. Gotta think of something original now. Anyway, so I forget Cabretti was his name in Cobra, something Cabretti.
Cabretti.
It was it was like a woman's name or something. For like, I say woman's name. Please don't get on me for saying that. But it was Marion. It was like Marion Cabretti or something like that.
That's right.
You know, which
Marion.
the Duke's name was Marion too. I don't like John Wayne.
Marion.
But I'm pretty sure it was Marion Cabretti.
Pretty sure there was a reference to that in It's Always Sunny. Marion.
You know what? Looking at Cobra in this scene, I just can't help think about the gang makes Lethal Weapon. whatever it was at the time, 6 or whatever. Just with that, it just looks so like the aesthetic looks so cheap.
Oh man, yes it does. And they just sit here watching him eat pizza.
I'm gonna eat some pizza and these drugs hidden in some. I forget. I didn't like Cobra that much when we watched it.
Right.
Wasn't a fan. Cool poster art. Not my favorite. But of course, we have a hard-boiled, renegade cop of sorts versus a possibly pickaxe-wielding psychopath, schizophrenic, crazy person. So, however, Marion Cabretti is armed with pool noodles.
Whoa, okay.
Which, hey, in his hands could still be pretty deadly.
Could be.
However, Axel from My Bloody Valentine has freeze rays.
Uh-oh. Pool noodles versus freeze rays. That's
You ever played Mortal Kombat 2?
definitely tilts it.
And Sub-Zero has that 2-part fatality where he freezes you and then casually walks up to you and shatters you?
Uh-huh.
Now,
If I say a pool, though... no, okay. Because he couldn't use a freeze ray on pool, but you can use a pool noodle.
oh, that's right. Wait, yeah. Hold on. This hits the ocean. It could change everything.
Crystal Lake Dock.
Oh, so the possibility of water,
Right.
which would give the advantage to the pool noodle.
Right.
However, personally, just like speaking of Indiana Jones, talking about last match, as it proves, you can have the fanciest pool noodle or sword. Mm-hmm. It just takes one bullet from 20 paces away to take you out.
Is Axel's not he wielded a pickaxe?
Yeah. In My Bloody
So he
Valentine.
wasn't a ranged weapon kind of guy.
Now, Cabretti is.
Yes.
But it's a freeze ray.
It's a freeze ray and it's a pool noodle.
So if I was placing a bet based on this, no matter who it was, I mean, it would have to be, I guess, John Rambo with a pool noodle, another Stallone character that might have somebody who literally kills people with, a rubber band and he's the Silent Bob of murder, or MacGyver of murder, I guess would be a better way to put it. Copyright 80s Revisited, MacGyver of murder.
MacGyver of murder.
So, no matter, just saying, who would win in the fight if they had a pool noodle and a freeze ray? I'm going with the freeze ray person, no matter who it is, because of range. I'm not
It's hard to fight.
I can't shoot something, but also, most freeze rays that you see in pop culture tend to have a beam. Mm-hmm. Like Dr. Horrible.
And let's say he does miss. The killer instinct is still there.
Yeah.
To take care of him in some other way.
Well, even at that, I mean, the dude wields a pickaxe.
Yeah.
No, not Cabretti's strong. He's Stallone, but it's a pool noodle.
Yeah.
Now, of course, he could get it around his neck, probably strangle him to death with it. But Axel, he's probably, he's wielding, swinging a pickaxe around. Plus, he's got a freeze ray. Even if he missed all the times with the freeze ray, so Cabretti could close the gap. I mean, the dude's murdering people with a pickaxe.
Yeah. He's got the swing.
In a death match, a renegade cop doesn't quite have that advantage mentally as a psychopath.
So Axel has the weapon.
Maybe Lieutenant Riggs would. I don't think Cabretti would.
Right. So even unarmed, Axel still has an edge. So
I would
clearly
say. And this is, again, everybody, if you're screaming like, well, no way Stallone would lose that. Well, Freeze Ray.
It's Cobra.
Marion Cabretti.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure 99% sure that was his name. But also, I mean, again, this is all just fun, but also range versus melee. Range is going to win. That's why archery can completely change medieval warfare until cavalry came in. If you know your medieval fighting tactics. And then even in close range, if it was like a boxing match, to make another Stallone reference, it might be a little more even, a lot more debate. Might have to give it to the good guy in that for 80s movie standards, but I'm going to say, whoops, I almost crossed out Axel. But
so I looked
range weapons.
I looked up Marion Cabretti with pool noodle. No results.
Oh, come on. Not a single picture of Stallone holding a pool noodle.
So it's confirmed. He has no experience fighting with a pool noodle.
I mean, I've experienced with a pool noodle. There's a picture of me on Facebook whacking our old co-host Daniel mid-air with a pool noodle. So I can wield a pool noodle.
Yeah.
Probably not a freeze ray.
Now, if he would have drew pizza, maybe. He has yielded pizza before.
There are other pop culture characters that could win that with a pool noodle. John Matrix would come to mind. Another MacGyver murder. I mean, he gets locked in a shed, starts throwing saw blades, cutting people's arms off with everything he could find. His freeze ray would hit him, and Axel's walking over to shatter, and it just shatters out of the freeze ray. Ah! Arnold would do that. Stallone, you're a little too classy to do something that silly.
Yeah.
Nowadays. Not in the 80s.
Yeah. You're too good of a writer.
For sure. I mean, he really is. He's a good writer. Moving on. Ooh. Crazy Mel. Mad Max from Thunderdome, not Road Warrior, versus the Toxic Avenger.
Whoa. Okay.
This is a good one.
Got some killers up in here.
Possibly. Mad Max, Mel, is armed with Freddy gloves.
Okay.
So he's got
weapon.
got finger knives, as Nancy would say. Yeah. However, the Toxic Avenger,
Mop and bucket.
Melvin, I forget his last name, but he has boobs.
Boobs. Oh, that's just more target for the gloves.
Yeah. So, but they are fighting. Could be the Thunderdome.
The docking bay of a visitor mothership.
Yeah. Very flashy stage. Not my favorite.
Right.
But it's got pretty cool visuals.
It's a sci-fi play. It's really bright.
Yeah. It's that token sci-fi stage in Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter.
Nowhere to run, really, though.
Yeah. You're kind of stuck there.
Neither of these characters would run, I don't think. So the only thing Toxie has for him is, like, stupid strength.
Yeah. However, Mel's gonna, with the gloves, you got about another 6 inches of reach. Kind of come, actually in Thunderdome, Mel's fighting the big armored dude. And of course they have the bungee cords and all the other weapons and all that, which Mel does have actual weapons in this situation. He's not a horn dog in Mad Max, at least. This is Toxic Avenger.
Well, see, he's not that fast, clearly.
Yeah.
If those had Freddy gloves, he'd be slashed up.
But there it is right there. Watch on YouTube where he just rips the dude's arms off. True, like brute strength. He gets that on Max. It's over. But
would the Freddy gloves be able to chop some hands off? I don't know.
I mean, it's more of a piercing weapon or a slash. I should say, well, piercing. In D&D terms, piercing and slashing. However, in the first Nightmare, Freddy's sitting there cutting his fingers off. Now, granted, it's dream logic, but I have a Freddy glove. It's plastic, but of course, people make replicas of them. But I mean, even just playing around with that one, like poking, we have to be extremely sharp and like stabbing something with your fingers. Autumn hates. I knife hand her all the time, very gently. I do not abuse my wife, but like if she's trying to pinch me or something, I just take my knife hand and just slowly push. Get away! And it gets her off of me every time. But I mean, hitting somebody, it's fantastic slashing because you're, and of course Max is pretty quick. get around.
This guy's pretty quick until
slash
he's not.
Some tendons.
But I mean, he's taken 2 hits from a pretty strong dude. 3 hits. Oh, now he's got nunchuckus.
Fellow chucker, eh?
Hey. He was doing better without the chucks. But he's taken 4 hits so far. And his head hasn't flown off or anything.
Yeah.
Here we go. We got a sword. Still not quite Freddy Gloves. Has a range.
A lot more range. Well, see, I mean, Toxie's got some moves.
He does, but he has taken a lot of hits too. It seems like a slashing weapon. He doesn't like slashing weapons. This guy's taken, 5 hits from a guy that can rip off arms?
Well, they got to build up for the part where, I think he's the one who dunks his head in the fryer, or is it the hands?
I think he's going in right now, huh?
Oh, they get into the kitchen.
So, I mean, I think Max can take more hits than some random
Yeah, I mean, he's
karate guy.
It's just, if Toxie actually got his hand, again, they know they have to kill the other person.
Of course.
He
chose to feed him milk.
If Toxie gets his hands on Max, like if he blocks 1 hit and then just gets his hand on him, he could kill him.
True.
So is Max... You don't know anything about your opponent. You just know door opens, you have to kill it.
Yeah.
A la any Gladiator movie, like whatever comes out of that door, we have to kill. So it's just like, oh, it's some deformed dude. Max, maybe
with boobs.
Some crazy woman's coming at me. China back from the dead. So
probably won't be a lot of talking.
I'm sure. I mean, Toxie's obviously built. And so is '80s Mel Gibson. Not to this level, don't get me wrong. But I don't know. This is one of those you need the deadliest warrior computer.
He put it in the basket. He didn't have to use the basket.
But it keeps him trapped in there, so he can't pull them out.
Yeah, but
that's horrifying too.
It's just a big bath, though.
A very hot bath.
Yeah. Oh, I think the pole keeps him in.
Yeah. Well, even if he's trapped with the pole, he'd be like, hands are out. That's horrific. So horrific. Like thinking about your hand sitting in a fryer. That's terrifying to me.
It's very hot oil.
Yeah. It's we haven't covered on the podcast, but Dune, there's that scene in Dune where he has to put his hand in the box. I'd say it's a famous scene, big scene in the book. And he takes his hand out of the box. The Gom Jabbar is going to kill him. He's going to prick him with it and kill him. And it shows his hand great 80s special effects, melting off and he can't move his hand. Mm-hmm. So that's akin to, in my house, I kick my hot water heater up a nudge, into the red where it's not supposed to be. So my water is hot. I don't, my water is never lukewarm. When my mom comes over, she's like, oh, I forgot your water's so damn hot. I'm like, yeah, water's hot. It's hot water. It gets really hot really quick. But I'll be sitting there and I'll forget, or I'll have it running and I'll move my hand across. It's and it's but it makes me think of Dune. Imagine if I had to keep, of course, in spoiler alert, in the first 15 minutes of Dune, 15 to 30, depending on which version you're watching, he doesn't know if his hand's actually being burned off. He shows if you take your hand out of the box, this woman's going to kill you. But the visual that it shows is it's melting and all that. So it's
Yeah.
But also, when I'm cleaning Violet's bottle, I say bottles, but water or cups, water's hot. I'm like, okay, I have to reach my hand and pull that little piece out on the first try. I can't pull my hand out until I get it out. Kind of, not sadomasochistic, I guess, but self-harm, not self-harm. There's a word for it.
Yeah.
But anyway. So
one day VR will be like that. It's so real.
It's all yeah. Anyway, but I'll stick my hand and I haven't actually burnt my hand. I've had I can't, no, ain't no way I can get it out. That, that's getting to the point of actually hurting myself. So what I'm getting at is hot shit, being, your hands being, an appendage being stuck in it. Not good for me. Would not like that one bit.
In conclusion, Toxie wins.
Don't stick your hand in. I mean, honestly, again, I'm looking at it if I had to place a bet.
Sure.
Based on, I guess, what we're looking at, of course, Toxie's looking ridiculous with his, double Ds and everything. However, he's going to get cut up. Mm-hmm. His little tutu might be in tatters. Yeah. But
he might lose the boobs.
I mean, even if he blocks one hit and can you just grab an arm, if he gets a hand on Max, he's ripped. he will rip a limb off.
And he will get a hand on him.
Yeah, eventually.
Because he always gets Mel Gibson always gets punched around.
That's kind of his thing. So I'm going to say, if we're in agreement.
Yep. Taxi moves on.
Max has fallen. Not in the Thunderdome, but in the Visitor Mothership. And then the visitors come, the stage fatality, to bring it back to Eternal Champions, is the visitors come and take the body and eat it. Because they're harvesting us for food. Spoiler if you haven't seen V.
There you go.
This is a interesting one. Hoops McCann, a.k.a. John Cusack from One Crazy Summer, versus everybody's favorite puppy dog, Cujo.
Is this first round?
Mm-mm. This is
how the hell did Scoops McCann move on?
Hold on. Let's see.
Don't look at that.
I'm getting the previous one. Hoops.
Or Hoops, not Scoops. I know a guy named Scoops.
He's supposed to be good at basketball. Who did he fight? Yeah, I think it was one of those I'm looking for. It's where it was more so like the weapon. He beat, because he fought Ralphie from A Christmas Story.
That's right. He beat a child.
Yeah.
Now he's going up against a dog.
Child murder was kind of a big thing in the first couple rounds.
Right. That's true.
The way the random, it's random. It's the randomized brackets. But Hoops has syringes with reanimator fluid in them. And Cujo has in his paw flamethrowers. I'm going to go out on a limb here. Oh, well, actually, they're fighting.
Right.
If it's the ocean, it's going to be a big thing.
It's a wrestling ring.
I think Cujo just burns this dude to a crisp.
I don't even know if they come into play.
They probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
Because he stabs Cujo with the reanimator fluid. He's just going to be worse.
Right.
And again, this is 80s John Cusack, so this is like, I think, one or two movies removed from him being a henchman in Stand By Me.
Yeah.
So this isn't even like peak Cusack. Now, to me, it's peak Cusack in the 80s because I fucking love this movie.
Yeah.
However, he's like a Gutenberg-esque character in it. He's not, Hightower and Tackleberry handle the heavy stuff, whereas, he's more the schemer and, we're going to get these guys in a roundabout way, as in most typical 80s movies. So, to save some time here, he's dog food.
Yeah.
It's
a confined space. It's just the way it is.
That's what you get. I mean, you can jump on the top rope and all that. Cujo's a fucking St. Bernard. He's big. Yeah. Cujo is probably twice the size of this guy.
If you want to justify it, 80svisited@gmail.com.
Give me one reason to stay here. And Hoops will not be dead. I don't know. I can't rhyme that. I'm not that quick.
All right.
Moving on down, so to speak. Vigo, the Carpathian from Ghostbusters 2 versus Reggie Belmont, not from Castlevania, but from Night of the Comet, the lovely Reggie, survivor of a comet apocalypse, so to speak, versus, basically a non-vampiric Dracula, Vigo the Carpathian. However, Vigo has, as we must always do, Vigo has some lead pipes.
Kind of sword-like.
Very. I think I'd rather get like just cut by a sword, I think, than like bludgeoned.
I mean, I think Vigo's weapon is a sword, preferred. His skills will come in handy.
However,
Reggie
Belmont has lightsabers.
Well then,
how the turntables have
cut through that. Okay, but they're in a swamp at night.
Yeah. Actually, I think the last time lightsabers came up, it was in a swamp at night.
But that lights up one guy this time, not both.
Correct.
So he goes in the dark.
That's true.
Will stealth come into play?
Now, of course, I think, if I remember, again, this is weeks or months ago in some regards. Of course, Vigo comes from an age where he might have had a crossbow or a bow, but again, he's a melee fighter.
Sure.
A sword, if I have a pipe, if I'm good with a sword and then you give me a lead pipe, is it the same thing? No. However, Vigo is a Carpathian. If you know anything about Carpathian history, broadswords are pretty fucking heavy. I'm completely just going on a complete whim here. I don't know anything about Carpathian history. But anyway, so if you had, back in medieval times, like swords were heavy as fuck.
Yeah.
So he could easily wield a lead pipe.
The thing.
To him, a lead, we never specified, but this weapon is taken from Clue, so it was about a foot long. Okay. So it's we're going to use that. That was the inspiration for the weapons from Clue in these. So we're going to use that as the
It's capable of murder, though.
Absolutely.
Because it's in Clue.
As people found out in Clue. I'm trying to remember who got murdered by the lead pipe. No, that was the monkey wrench was the cop. The motorist, I think, might have been the lead pipe. I think so. Correct me if I'm wrong. agevisit@gmail.com. However, again, a lightsaber can cut through fucking anything except Captain America's shield, as internet nerds like to debate, which I think it would cut through that anyway. Maybe not cut through it, but it'd be like Qui-Gon Jinn in Phantom Menace, where it would like have to melt it. Like Cap goes to block it, the lightsaber hits it, doesn't go through, but it's it's heating. It's gonna get through. That's a different discussion.
What stage of Vigo is this? Ghost?
It would be. It's Peter McNichol possessed by Vigo. So it's a little dorky man with a lead pipe
with a baby stroller.
For intents and purposes, it would be into the movie Vigo where he's out of the painting.
Sure.
Basically he doesn't have any supernatural powers per se for this fight, but I mean it's Vigo himself out of the painting. Yeah. As in at the end of the movie where he's holding, what was the baby's name in that movie? I can see the scene. I can hear Sigourney Weaver shouting it, but I can't think of the kid's name. Doggone it. I hate when
listen to this in your car. Say it out loud.
I hear somebody's got it right. Yep.
Oscar.
The Grouch, yeah. So, yeah.
Baby Oscar.
But it's just... So, but again... but Reggie, she's good with an Uzi in Night of the Comet, but not... she's not a Beastmaster sword slinger. So that's like saying, who's Annie Oakley? Here's a dagger. Now knock that out of the air with a dagger. So I mean, you get into that. You have a weapon that could kill anything practically, but you have to hit it. Swamp at Night. She basically has a flashlight, but Vigo is skilled in melee combat.
Yeah.
So it's more so a matter of he just has to get. He can't get hit. He can't even block it. So it's a thing. So he would, again, a split second would make a difference in if this was an actual fight and not me talking, us talking about how the absurdity of two characters who would never in a billion years, this fight doesn't exist except on this podcast.
Yeah.
How randomized it is. So, again, if I was placing bets, I would place my bet on Vigo's experience with melee and also the fact that he's not lit like you. I think that was a good point. This is in the middle of the night, pitch black. She's got lightsabers, but I mean, that would almost be more of a detriment because then both hands are, you're a little more worried about maybe illuminating the area as opposed to actually, fighting something. And if you've seen any lightsaber videos, like the fan-made ones or whatever, they're not like the brightest thing. All it makes her is a target.
I was gonna say, how much does it act like a torch?
Yeah. So, and also...
Not much, really. It's barely lighting the user that's using it.
It does say it's lead pipes.
True.
Lightsabers. So, there she is. Oh!
Disorient.
And then the second she said, do, 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 do.
We're in the swamp.
Yeah. Splash, splash, splash. Do, 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 do. Stage fatality triggers, alligator comes up, bites her in half.
Yeah.
I'd give it to Vigo.
I like Vigo more, too.
He's a better character.
Yeah.
Let's be...
here's someone dual-wielding lightsabers, but still, you can barely see the user.
Yeah.
So how much is it lighting up around them? Not very much.
Again, if the other person doesn't have, Vigo's, Now, of course, you're in an area where you can hear yourself moving, splash, 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 you're in a swamp. But again, I know where this person is with the lightsaber at all times.
Mm-hmm.
I could stand absolutely still. In a video game, I would press X to hold my breath.
Yeah. Behind any tree.
She's looking. The second she gets close, dunk. Stealth is a huge
factor.
factor.
Go down into the water just where his nose is sticking out, so he looks like just a rock sticking out.
No, he takes the pipe and just goes underwater.
Even better.
What a weird plant this is, and she's looking at it. Stab her right in the face with it.
Camera pans across some cat of nine cattails,
and
there's a lead pipe in the middle of it, just moving along like a submarine.
Absolutely, that's exactly what happens now.
And then it turns, and then an eyeball pops out of it like a cartoon.
I like it. Ooh, okay. Next battle, John Rambo from First Blood.
Right.
Not
the champion from last time.
Exactly. With Gator armor from last one. versus everybody's favorite school bully, Buddy Revell from 3 O'Clock High.
So we got an armored John Rambo versus a school bully.
Now, we do have an armored, realistic John Rambo because it's First Blood.
Fair.
So, as opposed to I can kill a helicopter with a bow and arrow, John Rambo from Rambo First Blood Part 2. However, John Rambo, this is what's going to determine it.
Of course.
John Rambo has a Nintendo on both hands, suited up. Nintendo Power Gloves.
Ooh.
Now, remember, they have cords.
They do.
So, I mean, that's a garrote. Or, a variety of things that Rambo could use. However, Buddy Revell,
the school bully,
has half of a liquor bottle.
Oh, no.
Where does Buddy Revell die at?
In the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, he's dead.
He's dead, yeah.
We
have to assume the fight, once someone dies, they're not in the middle of the ocean anymore. So
yeah, they're teleported back to their cell.
Right.
Kind of like Tron, how they're in their cell.
Mortal Kombat.
They go fight and they go back. So that's an easy one.
The movie.
Nothing special there.
Yeah, it's a school bully. It's a teenager.
Yeah. Against
John Rambo versus
a Vietnam
a
veteran who just killed an entire police force.
Yeah. Half of liquor bottle.
That does nothing. You should just stab him. Buddy Revell knows who he's fighting. Stabs himself.
The bottle that has half liquor in it, or is it half the bottle?
It's the
because in the ocean there's nothing to against.
It's already broken.
Okay. Broken bottle.
Yeah,
got it.
That'll be a better way to put it. So here's an interesting one: Battle of the R's. Mm-hmm. Reggie from Phantasm 2 versus, I actually mentioned earlier, we're talking about hard-boiled cops, Lieutenant Riggs. Martin Riggs from Lethal Weapon 2.
Crazy Mel.
Again, there's still hope for Mel fans.
Well, yeah, because he was out for a second.
But Reggie from Phantasm 2, instead of his 4-barreled shotgun, he has boxing gloves. Not looking good, my balding friend. However, Lieutenant Martin Riggs is armed with one broadsword in the middle. This one doesn't work for this one because it was one. The card says one broadsword in between them. So I think it'd be fair to just say he has one broadsword, or we can play it as is. We'll play it as is. We'll do what the card says. We'll stick with our guns here, and I'll tell you why. Because Reggie's wearing boxing gloves. He couldn't pick up the broadsword. You ever had boxing gloves on? You can't pick up shit.
Right.
You can do this number. But then what are you going to do? You're going to get kicked in the groin and then grab the sword and stab you. But they're fighting.
They're fighting in hell. Hellraiser version.
The Hellraiser theme plays.
All right.
I was about to imitate it, but then I realized that's not the Hellraiser thing that I was about to say.
Yeah. I thought you were doing the Kane entrance for
something like that.
Even though it's blue hell.
Yeah. So, what the hell
is this? So we got
a
broadsword in the middle of them. So, yeah.
Sort of laying there, and they're sitting there.
Riggs is going to be way faster. Well, I think they're both fast. They're both...
Riggs is definitely faster than Reggie.
Yeah.
Reggie is a former ice cream man. We just
saw Reggie running away.
No, I love Reggie Bannister as a character. He's fantastic in Phantasm. Iconic horror character, but he's Ash level in terms of...
Yeah, he's running away from this thing that doesn't even have a weapon.
Yeah. He's lovable, he's great, he's funny. He's perfect for Phantasm.
He doesn't feel confident to win until he has that shotgun. Yeah. Absurd shotgun.
Yeah. 2 shotguns with a searchlight on top, taped together. Yeah. Which is great. Love Reggie, but it's actually a detriment. It's like the boxing gloves you can't even grab anything. You have to take them off. Guess what? You can't take off boxing gloves if somebody puts them on you. Now, if you got the kind you slip on because you get in the Walmart once because you're beating a punching bag, yeah. But these are Rocky boxing gloves because Clubber Lang is still in this tournament, if I remember correctly, and that's why they're there for Clubber Lang. So actually, boxing gloves are pretty much, if it was just them versus one broadsword, there'd be a cool little 80s fight going on because Reggie can take a hit. But he's got boxing gloves. He can't even do anything.
Yeah.
Riggs just be like, as he's walking forward with the sword.
How limited is this hell? It's pretty compact,
It's just a lot of concrete. It's a lot of blue light, concrete, and scattered rags.
Right.
There's like a giant Leviathan in the distance, and there's you hear chains jingling intermittently and that kind of thing. But in terms of an environment, there's really not much, because in Hellraiser 2, when they're actually in hell a good bit, it's just a lot of blue hallways until Pinhead pops out. Or the doctor, I forget his name in part 2. But there's really not much to it. It's not like, Scorpion's Hell and Ultimate MK3 where, there's lava pits everywhere. Hellraiser Hell is very black and blue.
Yeah, it is.
Imagine, basically, here Hellraiser Hell would be going to a parking garage and, basically having just, blue lights everywhere. There you go, blue.
Lots of blue.
Which Hellraiser is that? Must be one of like the direct-to-DVD ones.
Yeah, one of the recent
I
ones.
don't recognize that at all.
Christopher Lambert, is it? Was it? I think it was.
I don't think he was ever in one. That would surprise me if he was.
Or a look-alike, at least.
Oh, Lambert. I wonder what he's up to. I haven't seen him in forever. Yeah, it's not Lambert.
That's a look-alike, yeah.
I bet he's old. I mean, obviously people get old because I'm getting
old
old too.
Scott Derrickson, who's a...
Never heard of him. Doug Bradley ain't done shit lately either.
So I'm going to go ahead and say Riggs got that one.
Yeah. I think had it been a fairer fight, it'd be very entertaining. However, I still think, unless they both had their weapon, like guns, Riggs, Marks, if they both had guns, like Reggie would have to have a range, like a shotgun, like he has in Phantasm, and Riggs would have to have his hands in boxing gloves for him to even stand a chance.
All right.
If it's guns, Riggs, lethal weapon 1, puts the bullets in the same holes, makes a smiley face from 50 fucking yards away.
Yeah.
Reggie's more like the pray and spray. He's me and I'm Reggie in an FPS. Some of our other friends are more like Riggs, just
not me.
He's got that Halo 1 pistol. So let's see. Moving on down the list, we have Gibson Rickenbacker from Cyborg, Van Damme from Cyborg, versus Beck, which is Peter Weller's character from Leviathan. However, interesting match. Again, only here on 80s Revisited would you see some bullshit like this. But Gibson has no weapons, the purity of unarmed combat, which is a reference to another Van Damme movie, so it's appropriate that he gets it. However, Beck...
It's never good when the other person gets something.
Beck does have something, but it's nunchucks.
Okay.
Which he doesn't know how to use.
Sure.
It would have to be... There's nothing in... And I say that because, now, of course, Peter Weller would say, well, actually, this character that when I was thinking about Beck, I always thought he was somewhat of a martial artist and knew how to use such ninja weapons as the katana, throwing star, and nunchaku. No. This character is in Leviathan. It would be the most random-ass thing in the movie if, in his bunk, you see some nunchucks hanging there. That's not the case, is what I'm getting at. He doesn't know how to use nunchucks. Every one of us as a kid would go to the fair or wherever. We all had a pair of nunchucks growing up in the 80s because we watched Ninja Turtles in our late 80s, early teens.
They sold them cheap.
Yeah, you get the foam covered ones. Hell, I would take paper towel rolls and try to make my own. Everybody wanted nunchucks. You watch Bruce Lee. And you think, oh yeah. Now, I'm not a chucker, as we mentioned earlier. But and of course, if you're listening, you're not seeing what I'm doing, but the classic, sling it over your shoulder, catch it in your hand. I can do it right-handed to left hand all day. I can do that. But, when you do that chuck move where you do it right hand to left hand to right, I'm not left-handed. I am completely not useless with my left hand because it's my...
And South Park covered this pretty well.
Oh, yeah. Let's fighting love!
Kyle with his nunchucks.
No, again, that's when the charm of South Park is because every kid did that at some point with their friends.
Yep.
Oh, you got nunchucks at the fair? I got this cool throwing star. Oh shit, you always hit them with, or you just hit somebody with it. All that kind of fun stuff that you did as kids. So basically, all I'm saying is Beck is just going to be able to use it to just swing at him, and it's just, it's relative. The next shot is the price.
Cut to.
We're just watching the South Park Play with Weapons. I forget the name of the episode.
Yeah,
Play with Weapons or something like that. But it's the anime episode. Weapons. Something like that, yeah. Dress him up like a dog. Arf, arf. So great. God damn. Anyway, so I don't think the weapon... Now, of course, Gibson, Rickenbacker, Van Damme, and Cyborg is a melee fighter. Beck, he's a military. I think he had some military background in Leviathan. I don't remember it exactly. It's been a long time since 80s Revisited went deep and covered that film. But in a straight fight is that whatever, as opposed to a gay fight. I don't know what that means. In a straight up fight, Gibson would kick Beck's ass in a straight up fight. Now, the only variant here. Later in Hell. Never mind.
Right.
Sorry. Really?
No, that was last fight.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's all I was like.
Tokyo, while it's being attacked.
It's being
by Godzilla.
Godzilla's at his keyboard. Somewhat, badly dubbed because I'm not being racist. That's how Godzilla movies are. The subway. We can't get out. We're being hacked.
Listeners on iTunes can't see that.
Obviously, anyway. But, Godzilla movies are notorious for their badly dubbed sequences, which is what I'm referencing there.
Yeah.
That's what it is. He's not attacking us. So Godzilla is hacking Tokyo right now. So Tokyo's in chaos because ATMs are spitting out money. The red lights are flashing. Planes are falling from the sky because Godzilla's hacking Tokyo.
He's hacking. Which, yeah. There's the card, see?
Look at my horrible handwriting. Hey, hacked.
Hey, hacked.
The funny thing is, I can completely see how it looks like. It actually looks like it does say that. But anyway, despite Beck having nunchucks, I don't think that's even a factor because Van Damme will do his splits, dodge it, and beat the shit out of him.
Do his Van Damme thing.
Yeah. Every damn time.
Beat his Van Damme ass.
So Beck falls, and Gibson Rickenbacker. Such a stupid fucking name.
Gibson. Oh, that. Yeah.
For a non-musical character. It was like, in Toy Story, I would imagine when the instruments come alive, one's called Gibson, one will be called Rick for Rickenbacker, because those are guitar names is the reference there.
I remember that.
We'll see. So, moving on. Wow, 2 Van Dammes in a row. However, Tango or Cash, like in the movie, they'll do paper, rock, scissors to see who fights him.
That's right. They coming off their blob victory.
That's right. In the previous Battleground at that. Which would have been an amazing movie.
Lightsabers there.
Yeah, that's true. Excuse me, versus Frank Dukes, who has a pair of boobs.
Oh, right. Can't forget that.
So now, of course, the real Frank Dukes was a fraud for the most part. Bloodsport is completely over-exaggerated. Wikipedia, all that kind of stuff. But Tango and Cash, another Stallone. Russell's back, thank goodness. So Tango or Cash. Let's do paper, rock, scissors, Jesse. You be Tango, I'll be Cash. Winner's the one who's going to fight him.
All right.
And okay. This is how I'll play it.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Okay. I can
Not 1, 2, 3, hit. 1, 2, I do 1 on 3.
Okay, on 3.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Paper. 1, 2.
Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
There we go.
I'm too anxious. I'm nervous. 1, 2, 3. Paper. I did paper. Jesse did scissors. So Tango is going to be fighting Frank Dukes with boobs. And Tango has 2 poison throwing. Speaking of ninja weapons.
Yes.
2 poison throwing stars.
As long as they can throw like Kenny can.
And Frank Dukes is in trouble. But Frank Dukes with boobs, winner of the Kumite, is armed with a 20-pound pickaxe.
Winner of the Kumite, you say? Well, they're fighting Kumite.
Oh!
Winner of the Kumite. Can he take an opponent with throwing stars?
They're poison.
Poison.
But now, in Tango and Cash, they're versatile, but they're brawlers. Now, I could pick up, as a kid, I was like, yeah, I could throw a throwing star. It's not that easy. Mm-hmm. Trying to stick it in a tree 6 feet in front of you. They're not, I think I actually watched something, Weird History on YouTube, free plug to them. But myths about, truth about ninjas and how throwing stars really were more of a manufactured kind of myth.
That completely makes sense.
Yeah, it's not really they would use them maybe for more so for cutting almost like a Swiss Army knife kind of thing. I watched it months ago, so I'm just trying to remember the recesses of my brain. So throwing stars really aren't. Now I know there's somebody out there who's pretty fucking good with them in this world.
Sure,
that could 3-point, 10-point, whatever they are, throwing star. But let's face it. some renegade cops, typical 80s movie trope, are not going to know how to use a throwing star. So in terms of accuracy, now they don't necessarily have to throw it. You can use your throwing star as a melee weapon. You can hold it, almost like some knuckle, like a brass knuckle kind of thing, and just stab somebody with it as something like that.
This guy looks like a pro.
This looks like one of those like Jim Carrey videos from A Living Color where it's going to bounce off the board. He turns around, it's stuck in his forehead. As you can see,
he just bounced to the ground. I think it's a bunch of bogus stuff.
Yeah.
Like you're better off with like a knife.
Yeah, half of them, looks like, from what I can see, half of them bounced off. And look how close you are. Like on Mythbusters, close. I think they proved like, I forget, I haven't seen that in years. Like when they were running at each other to see if you could draw a weapon and like shoot a running zombie or no, it was something like somebody with he had a foam axe. Yeah. Adam did, and Jamie had to like shoot him with a paintball or something before to see if he could get the hit in. And I think I don't remember what the range was, but it's surprising. I think
usually the person with the gun wins, or the range weapon.
But a throwing star,
they did it on a node as well with like a airsoft versus foam, sword.
Yeah, I mean a throwing star, a gun is gonna go through somebody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You hit me with the throwing. You'd have to. Again, throwing star. We're talking about the blade on them. At least the ones I got at the county fair, parish fair in Louisiana. We're talking not even an inch. And even if you hit somebody, in a movie, of course, or an Eternal Champions challenge from the dark side, a throwing star to the forehead, even though it probably is only going in that much, kills somebody.
Yeah.
Which it very well might. I'm not a doctor, but I mean, skull's pretty fucking hard in terms of killing somebody with it. However, these are poisoned, so we didn't establish rules for, this isn't like instant kill. I can't remember what we did previously, but anyway,
can Frank Dukes dodge them or block them with his pickaxe?
Well, he's fighting literally on his home turf, much like Clubber Lang did against. Who was he against? It was on the first page, I thought. Go back. The Punisher. Clubber Lang beat the Punisher because they fought in a boxing ring, and they had boxing clubs. So it literally was in his favor. Again, the randomness of this experiment. Frank Dukes is fighting on his home turf against an opponent that is a brawler, not a skilled fighter. Now, again, this fighter has 2 poison throwing stars. That's really the only variant here. Would Tango be able to use that to kill Frank Dukes before Frank Dukes, who can beat somebody blind only according to the movie, which is what we're basing this on, not the real Frank Dukes. Fraud Dukes, as I like to call him.
Dukes.
But anyway, Bloodsport, most people think Bloodsport is Van Damme's best movie. In terms of like his performance, this character, the badassness of this character, so most, look how quick, one shot. Mm-hmm. Baby stunned and then finish him. Fatality. Ring out. Right. So that's what I meant to say. So it really just comes down to if Tango could get him with the poison and then not get killed. I guess before, the poison would kill. Even if he hit him with it, he's poisoned. Mm-hmm. I don't think we ever said it. This isn't like some instant kill thing. It's more so like, you taste the poison. And, I have like, more like a Hamlet poison.
Oh, slow?
I mean, you're going to give us, you have enough time to give us soliloquy. I kept wanting to have another vowel sound in there. Thank you, Jesse.
Soliloquy.
You have enough time to deliver that speech and then die. Now, if you get stabbed with it, again, this is completely stupid hypothetical, but I don't know. I was gonna say, and then you in this futuristic, this game master that's controlling us. This person's dead. You will return to yourself healed, or do you get to yourself? I survived.
Or like a Street Fighter situation. If the bar's not gone.
Oh yeah, that's what I would lean towards as in terms of this. So I would say Frank Dukes would win. even if he got hit with a poison throwing star. Because again, they know they have to kill each other.
Yeah.
And neither Tango or Cash. Now, if they were together, they probably could do it. They probably could beat him. One of them, Kurt Russell's going to be the one getting his ass kicked, and Stallone's going to come from behind, and in typical fashion, as they did in the movie, for that. But I think Frank Dukes would win, even if he's poisoned. Like you said, it'll be that health bar's dropping, just like any fighting game or any game where like, oh, your status is poisoned, so you're taking that hit each turn, so you do have time.
That's what Johnny Cochran would say. The bar's not gone. You move on. Just make it rhyme, and it's a good defense.
Hey, they got a murderer off. Let's see. Moving right along, like Fozzie and Kermit, brain fart, to a completely one-sided match, possibly, as Malachi, the little rabble-rouser from Children of the Corn, versus...
Still got kids around, huh?
This is the last one, I think. The only one that survived.
Yeah.
Appropriately enough, it was one of the Children of the Corn who killed all the other adults. However, can he kill Optimus Prime?
No.
However, Malachi does have razor-line frisbees.
So?
Versus candlesticks.
Well,
hold on. They're fighting.
There's going to be a very fleshy candelabra in a second. They're at a health club with toxic waste outside.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
One shall stand.
Toxic waste isn't even going to be a factor.
One shall fall. Optimus Prime does a Steve Austin with it.
Yeah.
A couple of Prime Wisers after smashing this poor little child. He's not a poor little child. He killed a lot of people, so nobody's missing him. All right, moving on. That was an easy one. Need some of those in between these kind of debatable ones. My father, I wish, Ed Harris, Bud from The Abyss, James Cameron's The Abyss, versus pretty big threat in this competition, Mr. T, Clubber Lang. Bud from The Abyss, again, I guess more a foreman type character, not really a combat kind of character. Gets his ass kicked by a Navy SEAL, as most of us would.
Right.
Is it pressure sickness? I think they called it. Suffering Michael Biehn. However,
what, the bends or something?
They call it. I want to say they call it. They had a name for it in The Abyss. It's been too long. Although the bends I know is when you get, I think, nitrogen bubbles in your bloodstream from coming up too fast. But in the movie they called it. I want to say pressure. I want to say that, but again, I could be wrong. I have been wrong in the past, unfortunately. But however, Bud does have a pistol with one bullet in it. He's got one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow.
Decompression sickness?
Yeah. Sounds right.
When the pressure changes are rapid enough to turn atmospheric gases into bubbles. So kind of the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Must be. I'm not certified scuba diver. Although I did buy the book. We just never took the class. And I never read the book because we didn't take the class. Still got it, but haven't done it. However, Clubber Lang is armed with trademark weapon, which would be his boxing gloves
versus pistols.
Well, yeah, he got one bullet. So all he has to do is get one shot. He got one bullet, which is enough. But
now they are in a mine about to collapse.
Now, well, again, going back to the boxing gloves, he would have to. As from Ed Harris's perspective, all I have to do is just shoot him. I just have to, Now in the movie, he doesn't really use guns that I remember at all. He almost gets shot in the face by Michael Biehn, but there's never not exhibition. What's the movie word I'm looking for? But it starts with an E. Exposition. There's never an exposition shot of him just randomly shooting a gun to show how good he is at shooting.
Right.
So that means I would take it to mean that he's a normal person who, I could shoot you from here, Jesse.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in a collapsing mine, just like this, honestly, I think I could still shoot you.
Yeah, probably.
So in his regard, all he has to do is get a shot off. Now, he also needs... Now, we're talking Clubber Lang here, too.
Yeah.
In the movie, a very big specimen of humanity and brutality. It has to be a can't shoot him in the stomach. It takes a guy days to die from a shot to the stomach, as Harvey Keitel would say. It has to pretty much be a lethal shot. Otherwise, Clubber Lang will, beat the shit out of him. So that's the main thing. In a shaky mind, with one bullet, could he lethally kill Clubber Lang? Because if the answer is no, he is dead. No. Let's not forget, pistols are not just a weapon when loaded.
True. A melee fight, though, I don't know if he's doing much there. I think the shot to the chest could give him the advantage necessary.
I think so. It's a matter of could he get it off in a shaky mind.
And if he knows he only has one bullet, hopefully he'll make it count.
Yeah, I mean, kind of the same we talk about Mythbusters is,
Yeah, keep coming at me.
He can only get you from, 2.5. Well, I'm sure his arms aren't. That's probably about as long as mine because I've been told I have long arms. 2.5, 3 feet. That's his reach. Even with but you have a gun.
And he's in a mine.
Yeah,
he
can't necessarily. I mean, if somebody had a gun on me and it's shaking, I would take the chance of just trying to move at such an angle, and I would take that.
There's
risk.
No angles though. It's at mine.
I mean, you know what I'm saying. I mean, at least if I get shot in the arm,
true.
I've taken away your biggest advantage.
Yeah,
and if I
guess it depends how big of a mine it is.
I mean, in the movie, it's a stereotypical movie set mine. I mean, 2 people could walk abreast in it, and that's about it for the most part.
I've seen some documentaries of mines where it's pretty wide.
Yeah, well, they assault. I mean, they freaking vehicles driving through them and
exactly.
all that shit. I mean, this is Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom, Broken Arrow. I'm thinking of movies with mines in it. Broken Arrow, Bloody Valentine. Any movie, the Descent's not really a mine; it's a cave, so because they have caverns and all that. But yeah, you get the picture. Typical rock walls. The new Rambo movie, his cave system isn't a mine, but you know what I...
Well, we could roll a D20 to see if he makes the shot.
What would it say? What's Clubber Lang's AC?
What's his dexterity bonus?
He's a boxer, so I would imagine an average. He'd have a 10 dex. Usually, you'd roll your low in for a box or for a melee character. Unless you're a rogue. If you're a fighter, you want Constitution and Strength. Dex might be your third highest.
Clubber has strength and he has
Constitution.
Dex. Yeah.
So because he has,
I think his Dex is high, not his best stat though.
Probably his mid range. So
yeah, because the most he's gonna do, he hasn't trained all of his life to dodge bullets. But
what would Bud's to hit chance be? Bonus.
So he never fired a gun?
Not in the movie.
But yeah, they're scientists, right? They're not affiliated with the military or anything like that.
So, dexterity would be what would your stat that would determine your bonus to hit.
I mean, his intelligence is high, which means he knows probably how to use a gun. Because, just having that knowledge could help. They don't make them hard to use. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, guns are easy. Kids shoot other kids themselves. And
right.
Not to be morbid about it, but I mean, any monkey can shoot a gun.
Yeah.
Any snake could shoot a gun. Anything with an appendage.
Because I say if he misses...
He's dead.
He's dead. Yeah.
So let's say... Well, Clubber Lang is unarmored. And if our other friends know D&D, like the back of the hands. Oh, an unarmored person has this AC.
Right, 10, I think.
So let's say he has a 10 AC.
Back in the day when I played, I didn't play 5th, but I played 3.5. I think it was 10 AC.
That's not, my guess would have been 10 or 12, unarmored. Let us know what agevisit@gmail.com. I'll have characters that had bows, but I think they got because you get your dexterity bonus plus your weapon.
Depends on the weapon, yeah.
Yeah.
The weapon is light though, should be easy to use. I'd say it would be pretty high in his favor.
Let's say let's not give him a bonus. We'll say he has a 10. Mm-hmm. So he automatically has a 50-50 chance of. Well, he would have to have a little bit of. Let's say he has a +2 to hit.
+2 to hit. So 8 or higher, gun wins.
Yeah. However, here's the catch. The mine is shaking.
Yeah.
Roll with disadvantage.
Okay.
If this was it, I've never DM'd, but if a character had to do something and the room was shaking, in that situation they would have to roll with disadvantage.
Okay.
So he gets 2 rolls. We take the lowest roll as his final shot.
Oh.
So he has to get a 10 or better.
All right.
But if he gets a 20 on this one, doesn't count because he has to roll a disadvantage.
And let's give Clubber Lang a chance to dodge at a 18 or higher or something.
But he can make a dexterity. And of course, in combat...
Maybe a 19 or 20.
And it's not a spell, so it would basically just be... let's see what happens. We'll go for that.
Yeah. Let's see if he just gets a shot
Yeah,
off.
he might immediately kill him.
You got 11.
Okay. As long as you roll... You got to roll this. You got to roll one more time. As long as this is an 8 or higher, Bud wins. If you're lower...
It's a 12.
He wins.
He wins.
The 11 would have been the hit against...
Clubber doesn't get a chance to dodge?
I mean, in an attack, he wouldn't. If it was a spell...
Okay.
I mean, it depends. It's not a spell because it's a weapon. So
it's a ranged hit, though.
Yeah. So he would... He hit against the
Let's
AC.
see if he gets a 20.
If you roll a 20, Clubber Lang just fucking just beats the shit out of him. Yeah. Woo! Sweet science, baby. Doom, 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 doom. Absolutely. Because I think it's a 1 in 10. Is it 1 in 10 chance?
A 20?
Rolling a 20?
No, it's 1 in 20.
I'm trying to think of the... Oh, it's a 5% chance is what I'm trying to think.
Yeah, 5%.
Because if you roll with advantage, it's a 10% chance.
Yeah. No, we're
actually,
just doing one roll.
Yeah. He gets a 20, he survives and wins.
8. He's dead. The lowest roll of them all.
How ironic that the man that beats the Punisher to death dies at the hands of a person who doesn't use weapons.
A gun.
Yeah.
No.
At that. Now, again, in a straight up fight, if we were like a last deathmatch rules, absolutely Bud would have got his ass kicked.
Yeah.
Ooh, shit. This is a barn burner here, at least for our friend Ben Wyatt. Kurt Sloan from Kickboxer. Van Damme again. 3rd time. Although, actually, Van Damme's 2 for 2.
Wow.
However,
Van Damme versus Van Damme at the end.
it might be. It might be a Van Damme. It might be a damn good countdown. However, he is fighting Rowdy Abilene from Hard Ticket to Hawaii.
Oh.
Now, Rowdy's weapons already come up.
Yeah, that's true.
So, however, he's been good with other things, but let's see. Kurt Sloan from Kickboxer is armed with Rambo knives. So, foot-long
Not bad.
survival knives.
Not bad.
Not bad to have in a fight. However, Rowdy Abilene is armed with katanas.
Katanas versus knives.
However...
They are on a non-sturdy rope bridge over the goop.
Oh yeah, because the goop from the raft fell down there.
Yeah,
so
it ate the crocodiles, and now it has a goop down there.
Yeah, so if you fall, you're going to basically get dissolved by the blob in a way more horrific way to die than
Right.
getting eaten by an alligator.
So falling off is
Or
not an
crocodile.
option.
Uh,
Katana's got range. Once again, this is a straightaway, so there's no dodging really.
and now Rowdy Abilene's like a secret agent kind of persona with a katana.
That's true.
If somebody now a knife, you can be a knife thrower.
Sure.
However, he's a kickboxer.
He's a kickboxer.
He's a Muay Thai kickboxer. He's used to his elbows and his feet.
Never
not
trained throwing
knives.
knives ever.
He got some sick dance moves.
Sure.
That's about it.
Yeah.
So,
Throwing them bows, maybe.
but also, I mean, in a fight, if somebody says, choose your weapon, here's your weapons. Here's a katana and a Rambo knife. Pick one, your opponent gets the other. I'm taking the fucking katana.
Absolutely. On a straightaway rope bridge that's unbalanced. The balancing does have an issue. If you use the rope bridge to like move it around and stuff like that, katana's a two-handed weapon. Mm-hmm. Someone with a Rambo knife can hold that, shake whatever they can.
I mean, you could. Of course, it's much more unwieldy.
Sure.
But a Ninja Turtle can.
Yeah.
Granted, Rowdy Abilene's not a Ninja Turtle.
Right.
Don't get me
Leonardo
wrong.
uses two.
It's a valid point.
Yeah, I guess.
I think
as long as they play defensive, he could win. Because if the bridge starts shaking, you just go down, change where your center of gravity is, and just keep your sword up.
And I mean, if Rowdy Abilene can, this is a stretch, I know, but I mean, it goes along with the absurdity of the movie that is called Hard Ticket to Hawaii.
True.
He throws a razor blade frisbee that kills people.
Yeah. If he had the knives, that'd probably be advantage.
If the knife, honestly, I wouldn't put it past Rowdy Abilene to just throw the katana and cut Van Damme in half.
Play to your strengths, right?
Exactly. So again, if you're
katanas. If he throws one, he has another one.
Yeah, I mean, Leonardo, that shit.
Yeah.
Or if you got two, you do the thing where you hold one with the blade this way for defense to, block a knife and...
Yeah.
I mean, not that I'm an expert of katana fighting. Not that I ever, got sticks every day as a kid and practiced in the backyard after watching Ninja Turtles against imaginary opponents and other trees. Or, not other trees, 'cause I'm not a tree, but trees. But anyway, I know somebody listens like, you're getting really mad right now because we're hypothesizing that Van Damme, Kurt Sloan from Kickboxer, would lose to this Rowdy Abilene character. We'll go watch Hard Ticket to Hawaii. I think you'll come around.
I think it's available on YouTube. It is.
I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is because that's how I got it. So I would, again, in a straight up fist fight, I think it would go the other way just based on the fact that the character is a straight up melee character in terms of Van Damme. But Rowdy Abilene is, he's the Mike Danton of this one.
Yeah.
He's the overly powerful, ridiculous B-movie badass.
Oh, he's got nunchucks in his hand, which he uses to punch with, or just beat him with.
That's badass.
Oh, wait. Here comes a sword, but that's against a sword, so I guess it's a little different.
I haven't seen this since we watched it, so you might even have Ben might be screaming out, he actually uses a katana.
Well, we're watching the scene right now toward the end where he's about to go up against the katana. So
I just don't remember. I'm gonna sound really smart if he actually does use a katana.
Yeah.
So wait, he does use a katana. Ben's probably
he just pulls out
Indiana
guns.
Jones it.
Yeah, they just pull out their guns. Where'd
the katana go though?
Tried to throw the katana.
Look at that beautiful. Oh, actually, that didn't look like a dummy at first in that shot. Oh God!
It's pretty close to a dummy.
Oh, almost got him.
Almost.
Who throws a katana like?
Yeah.
You can't see it, but go watch the movie. But anyway, we'll stick with Rowdy Abilene for that.
Yeah, I
one.
like that.
It sounds good. Alrighty, I got one card left, so
reshuffle.
1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 matches. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 to go. So we'll call this episode over.
Okay.
And we'll pick it up next one to stretch it out a little bit longer.
There you go.
Because to be honest with you, we're doing Bond next, and I need some more time to get to the Bond movies.
Stretch it out.
Well, I'm trying to watch, full disclaimer, I'm trying to watch them all in order, and we started this a long time ago, but these movies are long.
They are.
They're 90% of them are over 2 hours, and these older ones are just like, I haven't got to the 80s ones yet. We just watched Man with the Golden Gun the other night. So I still got 2 more movies to go before if I remember correctly, my order, 2 more to go. And then finally, I'm up to the ones in the pod that we're going to be covering for the podcast. So this is my roundabout way of stretching it out until next, to give me more time to get the Bond movies actually watched.
Yeah, I probably can't see that, but all the run times of Bond movie. Yeah,
is that ranked?
Yeah, I made it extra blurry in our video thing to play with the effects.
Is number 1 Skyfall?
Number 1 is Spectre.
Okay, that one.
On Her Majesty's Secret Service is number 4 at 142 minutes.
What's the last one? Does it say? What's the shortest one?
The shortest one, Quantum of Solace at 107.
Really? Because that one seemed like the longest when I was watching.
Goldfinger at 110. Dr. No at 110. From Russia with Love, 115. Yeah. But 107 being the minimum. It's still an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah. That's long for an action movie. Maybe not these days. That's the thing. It's just but I don't understand, these... We'll get to it when we cover Bond, of course, but it's just especially for movies... I'm not saying that just because, it's an old movie, so, but there's a lot of tropes that are just why are they spending time on this? Mm-hmm. This is so... Of course, it's product of its time.
Yeah.
In terms of, production and everything, but it's just, even the Daniel Craig one's just oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Not counting Casino Royale, because that one kept me riveted the entire time. But every other, Craig one was just... Not that they're bad. Not saying they're bad. But just too goddamn long.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But we'll round out... before we get to the next one, round out some Back to the Future stuff. Recently I watched Hobbs and Shaw.
Okay.
ridiculous, stupid,
good, bad.
Like it's so bad. It's a so bad it's good movie.
Oh,
absolutely.
Wow.
It reminded. No, I'm not saying it's worth watching for The Rock. Except I didn't. It got very melodramatic, like with him, like in the which is uncharacteristic. However, there was one of the like I've always said, in San Andreas would have been a great movie if it ended with The Rock like pulling the continent back together, like that 80s level absurdity of action.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Hobbs and Shaw has that. Now, Fast and the Furious normally does. Like, yeah, you're right. It's not cool when Vin Diesel crashes a car out of a building into another skyscraper with Paul Walker surfing on it or whatever. That's not cool to me. It's cool if Schwarzenegger does it with Van Damme doing it.
Right.
But those two do not equal. No, I like Chronicles of Riddick, Pitch Black, not the last Riddick movie, just Riddick. That one did not do good with me. You know, I don't dislike Vin Diesel. I don't dislike Paul Walker. I dislike the Fast and the Furious movies if The Rock's not in them, because he adds that. He's what those movies needed, I think. Like, I think I'm not an expert on him. I think he came out on the fifth one, maybe, fourth or fifth one. Whatever he came in, that's where it really seemed like the franchise kind of got a second life, so to speak.
Yeah, I think Fast 5.
I think he's a big key to that in terms of that. We'll see how the next Fast and the Furious does, because I don't think The Rock's in it. So we'll see if, it's kind of moved on. And then Statham, I love Jason Statham. He's a good dramatic actor. He's got that comedic aspect. He's a great 80s action star in the archetype of that, just like, the Meg, Love Shark, it's ridiculous, but he was great in it because it's ridiculous.
Crank.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. That's an 80s fucking movie.
Yeah.
If there ever was one. But directed like a 90s movie. And that's what Hobbs and Shaw is. It reminded me of that era of when Nicolas Cage was in every action movie. It reminded me of that era in the 90s with Broken Arrow, Con Air, Face Off, that kind of like just absolutely absurd action. But you got the talent behind it in terms of you're seeing the people who you want to see do it. If that makes sense. I mean, Idris Elba as a villain. Yes, I don't care what movie it is.
That's Transformer motorcycle.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they're going to do a spinoff, I want to see his characters go around kicking ass. But I mean, it literally, like, it's a Marvel movie is what it is. Like, they of course, and again, I haven't seen every Fast and the Furious, but the last one, numbered one I saw was the one where I think Statham I thought he got killed in the end by Vin Diesel. So I'm not sure how he's back or all that, because again, I don't keep up with this.
Right.
But it's got good action. I mean, and when I say good action, absurd action. But I was like, okay, this is just dumb. I'm ready for it to end. I had my fill of it, of the ridiculousness. And then there's this part at the end where they're having this chase with a tow truck. There it is, right there. Literally what I'm talking about. We put it on the screen. But anyway, I'm like, okay, this is getting it's kind of getting monotonous here. This tow truck's pulling this Black Hawk. It's not a Black Hawk, but I mean this military helicopter, and they're like towing it to keep it from escaping with the girl from Mission Impossible, the last Mission Impossible. I don't know her name. She's a good actress, but she's in this. And the chain snaps, so the helicopter's gonna get free. Bad guys are gonna get away. Nah, bruh. The Rock grabs the chain while holding on to the truck, as we're seeing right here. Holds the helicopter. He's one-handed. He's Captain Americaing it. He's holding the helicopter on a leash and holding on to a moving truck. And then
Mythbusters, where are you?
here's the Mythbusters. Arm ripped out of socket immediately. I've seen fingers torn out of knuckles, as Quint would say in Jaws.
I don't know though, because like if you ever I mean, it's absurd to even dispute this, but if you ever try this with Autumn when you get like have her sit down and just put your finger on her head and say,
and have her try to
get
pull
up.
It off?
No, just say get up. You won't be able to, because we use momentum to give up. And if you say, just keep her head to the back, she can't. It's like you're just stuck. So would that be like the helicopter needing to?
It would. No.
Damn.
Hey, we tried.
Yeah, we tried.
We went through extensive scientific analysis, and it would not work.
Right.
No, but the whole time I got the biggest. My mind is saying this is so fucking dumb, but I had the biggest smile on my face because Rock's like he grabbed it and screams like ah. But that is what I want to see. If your movie is going to be so absurd that vehicles are like used like set pieces and toys practically. which is fine. But you have to go for it, and that's what I'll give this film credit. It goes for it in that regard. But again, it gets a little too melodramatic in a couple of parts with, like, when they go to, not Maui, but Samoa, where I can't remember where they go, which is fine for The Rock because that's his heritage. I'm not bashing that. I'm just saying it goes really heavy into that. So the tone of the film drastically shifts at that point. And then Roman Reigns is doing his wrestling move, which, if I liked Roman Reigns,
right,
I would be like, oh, it's Roman Reigns. But he's still...
WWE wants everyone to think, or thinks everyone likes Roman Reigns.
He doesn't. See, and then, of course, we'll talk about the Royal Rumble in a second. That was this past weekend, which I re-sign up for the WWE Network twice a year for Royal Rumble and for WrestleMania.
Okay.
And I didn't know half the people in the Rumble. But, might as well talk about it now. Anyway, Hobbs and Shaw, it was fun. It's, get your beer ready, get your drinks ready, and just turn your brain off and just enjoy it, and you'll have a great time.
Yeah.
Again, the cast is what makes it. Actually, to kind of touch on it, The Rock goes a little too Vin Diesel in the end of the movie, being that, like, family was what matters. We're a family. How every Fast and the Furious has something to do with Vin Diesel. Like, we're a family. Nah, bro, y'all are a bunch of hoodlums that are now, like, superheroes. Cool, whatever. That's fine. But anyway, so The Rock it goes away from, like, The Rock being that, badass Arnold-esque character, as in the rundown when Arnold tells him to enjoy it. That was passing of that torch. And The Rock has done that for the most part, absolutely. But the end of the movie is a little too serious for the tone. It shifts it a little too much, and that's where it's that '90s twist where, like, all this crazy action. I was going to get a haircut, Hummingbird, before I meet my daughter. Let's slow down. Just like in '90s comedies did the exact same thing. Every Adam Sandler movie in the '90s. Funny. 5 minutes of melodramatic story resolution, back to the funny. You don't need that in these movies. Nobody cares about the story.
Yeah.
Especially when it's absurd as what we're watching here. But anyway, Royal Rumble was this past Sunday. Even though, I like the fact they have the Women's Royal Rumble, because now I get 2 Royal Rumbles for the price of 1.
Yeah.
Again, don't know half of these people, much less half of them in the women's division, because when I watched wrestling religiously, to where I knew everything about it, there were maybe 8 women wrestlers. So, of course, I know Natalia,
they have to call
Charlotte.
them in, though. They call them in from, like, everywhere.
Yeah, that's they say it to, like, from NXT. Like, that's why I don't know this person.
Right.
But a lot of good talent.
NXT, though, like, if you want to see, like, young people doing their thing,
yeah,
like, they are more...
It's like the NCAA of
like, you
wrestling.
see some crazy stuff on there. Like, they're putting their bodies at risk because they want to prove something.
That's the first thing I noticed in both the women's and the men's Royal Rumble. When they said this person was NXT, they were out there...
Right.
Like, Randy Orton's laying there in the corner for 20 minutes. Winded, and then these young bucks are running wild.
Since you have the WWE Network, there's a good NXT match.
For 28 more days.
Well, this is a good time to watch the Johnny Gargano versus the bearded guy. Like, probably they've fought many times, but the first time, like, they were a part of a team called, I don't know if you know, you're probably yelling, but I could look all that up. But their fight, it was like... There's so much story going on, even though...
So like a Rockers breakup drama kind of thing, or...
Just, they were part of this team, and they clashed, and they just had a great match. That whole thing was just a great match, everything he did. God, what the hell was their team called? DIY was their team. And then when DIY broke up, Ciampa is the other guy they fought. Yeah, he had a whole storyline from 2018 to 2019. And the first time they fought, because they were like, whoa, this fight was so good, they spread it out to more fights. But the first time it should have ended there, because it was just...
Was it like on an NXT pay-per-view? Or?
It was on one of the pay-per-views for NXT, yeah.
I'll look it up and I'll watch it.
TakeOver Brooklyn, I think is it. But yeah, it was just such a good match.
But Beth Phoenix got the back of her head busted open. I'm like, wait, was she? First of all, Beth Phoenix, like, oh wow, she's still got some moves.
Yeah, she's a commentator on NXT.
Oh,
yeah,
interesting. Is she still married to Edge? Mm-hmm. Speaking of Edge.
But
anyway, like, women's match was great. I think Charlotte is A, gorgeous as fuck, and B, like she doesn't just have the Flair name, like she could China it and like enter the men's rumble.
Yeah,
I mean, at least I don't watch it every week, but from what I've seen, she's got She inherited all the good genes from her dad, unlike David. Rest in peace.
Is he dead?
One of his kids is dead. It might not be David.
It's not David though. It's the other one. It's the one that was going to be a good wrestler.
Yeah,
and that's why Charlotte started wrestling to follow, and I don't know.
Well, she is fucking gorgeous.
David's still alive.
Yeah, sorry, David. And not disrespecting your dead family member either.
You're right.
You know, that's never mind. I'll just keep digging this hole I'm in with the flares. But enjoyed the women's match. The God, what was it? The no holds bar, or not hold, the one that opened Roman Reigns. Yeah. If it maybe had been somebody other than Roman Reigns, it might have been
right.
And it had some good spots in it.
Right, but that storyline has been going on for like 8 months. It's just way too long. They fought each other at like 5 pay-per-views. It's ridiculous. Everybody's like, please let it end.
It's not gonna end.
Yeah, it's not. Because like Roman Reigns has nowhere to go right now, so they're just locking them both up in this story. And they're not really throwing anything new in it either, except for like recently they threw the Usos in because they came back from injury or whatever.
But it was I liked how it went everywhere, but I kept saying, even Edge was a big surprise. We're like, holy shit! I thought I thought with him it was an actual the wrestler situation where like one wrong hit, he's dead. He's like paralyzed. Like that's why he quit wrestling 10 years, whenever it was. So I was absolutely shocked when like, wait a second, and then like there's fucking Edge looking like a grizzled lion.
Yeah, he looked pretty ripped.
He looked like Mufasa or something, like walking down the ring.
That look in his eyes. He's probably pretty emotional right there.
No, I absolutely loved Edge when he first came out. This was before the Brood, before the R-rated before he went full heel. When you think you know me, you think you know, and you come out of the where is he coming at? You come out, and when he would speak, of course, again, he's obviously like has had health issues to where like he literally had to retire or die.
Triple fused neck
something
or something.
Because I Wikipedia after the match, like what happened here is like doctors told he was not cleared because you could legit get paralyzed with one bad bump. And what do wrestlers do? They take bumps for 20, 30 minutes once a week. So, but he looked fucking good in the ring. Yeah. Aside from same thing with Roman Reigns, nobody can spear anymore.
Right.
They look every time somebody does a spear, they always catch it from the most awkward angle, to where it's like it looks like somebody just tripped and knocked somebody. It doesn't look. Now go look up the TLC matches with Edge and Christian and the Hardys when he spears people off ladders and shit. Right. The spear's supposed to be like, oh my god! That's when JR like, by God, get some help out here!
Diving through someone's body.
Yeah, and then now it's just like it's a light little shoulder tackle. Again, I watch wrestling twice a year.
Right.
So, of course, our friend in Tasmania and wrestler himself, Ben Wyatt, you can educate me on that if I need to be, who I need to be looking for that. But, anyway, the Roman Reigns match, here comes, after all this match, I'm figuring the finish is going to come up. And then the really awkward ass angle on the spear, just that's going to finish him?
Boom.
Now, granted, they're hanging 15 feet up, but Goldberg in WCW when he would come out and do the spear and then jackhammer, when he would spear people, looked like, oh my god, that would fucking hurt.
Right.
Now, most people that do spear, and it's overused now. How many people got a spear? Is this the recent one, or was when he came back?
No, I don't think so. I think it's from back in the day. Yeah, no gray.
Yeah,
he was all gray for those recent fights.
Well, the spear used to be a devastating move. And now it seems, at least in modern wrestling, finishers now are not like, you rarely get up from a finisher. Now it's like another Superman punch and another Superman, which is a stupid move anyway.
Right.
Slamming the ground and that doesn't do anything. You just punch the dude in the face.
Of course not.
Whereas you have something like the curb stomp. I don't know if Seth Rollins still does that, but or the go to sleep that CM Punk oh shit! They look like finishers. This person should not get up. And then, of course, at the pay-per-view for the title, no one's ever kicked out of that. Finishers used to mean something.
Well, in AEW, that's one of people's complaints right now is that they have all these finishers they could have milked out, never have people kick out of them. But now they're right off the bat, they already have them kicking out of it 5 times.
What's the point of it?
What's the point? It's not a finisher anymore.
That's that to me that was always the drama of wrestling.
Yeah.
Like,
when's he gonna do the finisher?
Yeah, like you're watching Brett
finish it.
You're watching Brett and Owen, and oh shit, Owen put Brett in the sharpshooter. God damn it, Brett! What and then Brett reversed it. Oh my God! What? He just got jackknife power bombed.
Yeah.
He's dead. Or Tombstone on Kane. Look at the Undertaker's face. No one's ever gotten out of that movie. It meant something.
Yeah.
But now it's like another one and another. I'm like, obviously it's not working, Roman.
Right.
Do something different.
Do someone else's finisher.
But anyway, the men's Royal Rumble, didn't know half the guys. But I mean, the dude that won, I know I've seen him like in some other matches.
Yeah. So he's a guy that used to be kind of a joke.
Was he in that three-man band? Okay, yeah.
He was kind of a joke, and eventually they let him go, and he went and wrestled and made a name for himself in other places. And came back, probably paid him more money for it and everything.
Well, I love the storyline in this Royal Rumble, how Lesnar was going in first. I'm like, I'm sitting here thinking, from my limited knowledge, I'm like, okay, I guess Braun Strowman's going to come out, and it's going to be like, oh, here we go. Here's where it changes, and all that happened, and like, Brock's still in. I'm starting to think. I don't keep up with it. Excuse me, but I'm starting to think like, are they going to like let him go like almost to the end? Or are they going to like build this up? Which I thought if he went to the end, I'm fine with that as a casual wrestling fan, because the thing is, I was at we were both at WrestleMania 30, and that was my first actual WWE event. So like, first of all, I wasn't used to not hearing the commentators. So then when Undertaker loses, I'm like, wait, is that like what is he hurt? Like, what happened? And that
I love how they let it sit for a second.
Yeah, it was. I mean, looking back at it,
they could have just cued the music, but they didn't.
It looked like what the like.
Smart move.
I'm endangering the mission. I shouldn't have come, but it made made Lesnar like the one to like he's the Yokozuna now, to bring it into early 90s wrestling terms. Like nobody could beat Yokozuna for like long. They kept building up the Luger and Bret Hart, the double title defense at WrestleMania, and all that. It was so when I was watching like Lesnar's coming in first, the champion is coming in first in the Rumble. Well, they got something planned. I'm figuring they're building, which they did build the drama with. What's his name? Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
So.
But
exactly. Now that's world building. That's, to me, in terms of like wrestling, again, casual fan, all you marks that know all the stuff that I don't know, I defer to you. But okay, now I know what's going to happen at WrestleMania. This is some great drama here. Like this,
when he did that triggered in my head. I'm like, oh, there's your winner.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because they're obviously, what do you get if you win the Rumble? You get a shot at the title. Who's going to be who is obviously probably going to be the champion that he's going to challenge?
Brock
Lesnar.
Yeah.
And I was shocked when it happened, because it does that dude
Ricochet.
I'm like, Lobo, like that's going to hurt Brock, and boom, like okay. I like where this is going.
Yeah.
And then the rest of Edge coming out, it was a great Rumble, I thought.
Yeah.
Now,
I thought it was too. It was different.
Yeah.
Which is great.
I didn't have an expectation, or like it led me. I like it when something leads me to think something, and then there goes the rug.
Yeah.
Well, okay. And again, I'm a casual wrestling fan, and it also makes being coming back to wrestling 2-3 times a year. It always like makes me see. I'm always shocked at how the mighty have fallen, so to speak. The Miz comes out, used to be like the champion. All over, again, casual wrestling fan here. He was really big for a while by himself, and then gets thrown out immediately, practically. John Morrison, I didn't realize he was back in WWE, which I hated him in.
He just came back
in WWE originally. Goes to Lucha Underground. This dude is fucking awesome. Like he is super talented.
He puts his body into it,
and I'm like,
he sells everything too.
I was like, who's this douchebag? I'm like, this is a douchey character, but I'm telling you, he's in Lucha Underground, which we used to watch when it was on Netflix. I don't know if it's still on Netflix. He's really good. This should be good. And then what happens? Immediately gets thrown out, which I'm fine with, because in wrestling you have to have tiers.
Yeah.
And then that's what gives you that drama. Like back in the day, oh, you're stripped of the title, Michaels, and you got to go back to number 0. Yeah. And and then what happens from that moment till WrestleMania? Shawn Michaels he's fighting jobbers, he's building up, he's having to beat. You think you're not gonna beat the Undertaker? Yeah. And then Shawn Michaels beat Taker, so that means that this now he's got to beat Lex Luger, and then he's gonna be able to fight Brett for the title. Like
it's like the old Mortal Kombat going up the chin.
Exactly. I don't. You look at also. Brock Lesnar is a specimen of he is a scary dude. And then when him and McIntyre faced, I'm like, holy shit, McIntyre's bigger than Lesnar.
He's big, yeah.
Because I've never seen him next. I've seen him next. I guess whoever he was feuding with last year. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it was
Lesnar.
No, McIntyre. That around this time. Maybe Styles, or he was feuding with somebody, and he was bigger than
Ziggler last year too.
Maybe that was who it was, but he didn't look like that. I don't know how big he was.
Because Ziggler took him out last year at the Rumble.
Maybe that's it.
Almost instantly.
But seeing him him and Lesnar standing, I'm like, holy shit, that dude's way bigger than I thought he was.
Yeah.
So if WWE plays it storyline right, again, I'm going to say it's 50 times. Casual wrestling fan here. Mm-hmm. I think that you gotta have those characters. You have your heels, you have your faces. Heels and faces. But then you have those gray characters.
Yeah.
Austin was a kind of a heel to some, a face to others. That kind of thing. Or The Rock. The Rock was a heel, but he got so damn popular. This is a heel. Nah, he's a face to the crowd, but he's a heel in the storyline. Mankind, get your stupid ass out here so I can beat it. Basically making fun of him, and then but the Rock and Sock Connection is still one of the greatest tag teams of all time.
Yeah,
you have. That's what made wrestling so dynamic in that period to me. That's what made me I cannot miss Monday. I have to watch Nitro, or I have to watch Nitro for an hour, watch Raw for 2 hours, and then watch the replay of Nitro to catch what I missed watching Raw.
Right.
Between flipping back between commercials, depending on who's wrestling on which channel.
Yeah.
That was a real thing back then. And as a casual fan, it's just okay, I see Edge going, I guess they're going to be gentle with him. And then he basically makes it second to the end, I believe, or...
Yeah, pretty close.
If I was thinking, are they actually... Is Edge going to... Is he making a literal full, run here? And then, again, I don't have... I'll have Hulu, but again, like you said, they truncated versions of Raw, not for days later.
Well, he pretty much just said he's going to retire on his own terms. So I think what he's going to do is come back to WrestleMania and fight Randy Orton. That exchange between them.
Yeah, I was cracking up. We're he's like, yeah, we'll do it, and then Randy's like, and Edge looks over like that, and Randy's like, what do you think? That was so to me that was such a genuine moment. Because of course it used to be RK or Team RKO, whatever it used to, Rated RKO.
Rated RKO, yeah.
So they were, but they had that connection, but it was just the second he turned, it's about Randy Orton's going to eliminate him, but then it was no. He caught him doing it. It was so great. I absolutely loved it. But like I said, casual wrestling fan. I'll get the network again for WrestleMania. That's kind of just my thing because obviously my birthday's at the end of January. That's when the Rumble is. So my favorite pay-per-view happens usually around my birthday. So treat myself to that. And this one, again, being just a casual wrestling fan, absolutely had from start to finish, enjoyed it. Which is probably the first time I've actually enjoyed a full wrestling event for a long time in terms of just not seeing the writing on the wall from the very first entrant, basically. Mm-hmm. It kept me surprised. Of course, other diehards might not be, but I pretty much was. Back to the movies real quick because we're running. Not that we ever run long. Also saw Jojo Rabbit, which was that kid in that movie.
Nominated, right?
No, should have been
nominated.
I'm pretty sure he wasn't.
Oh.
Double check, maybe supporting, maybe just double check me. But he that. Sam Rockwell was fantastic. I know ScarJo's nominated for Best Supporting.
I think that JoJo, the kid, was nominated for Golden Globe, possibly.
Okay, he deserved more than that because that as kid actors, in my opinion, it's so you never know.
Just ScarJo,
but which I'm surprised she got. I mean, she had some. I mean, she did not do bad, but it was such a small role, I guess, to where I'm not. But I guess it stuck with enough Academy voters, which is fine.
Yeah, he was nominated for a Golden Globe.
Wow. Who else? I don't know if you clicked off of it. Did it say who else was nominated or who won?
Taron Egerton won.
Oh, for Rocketman. Oh, wait. So the kid was nominated for Best Actor?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Roman Griffin Davis. Is that the actor?
I'm not sure. I didn't catch his name.
Roman. Because the only reason I know that is because I watched like the clips from the speeches, and Taron Egerton said that kid is really good. And everything. Yeah, that's the kid.
So say who else was nominated?
Gave him a shout out.
Him, Egerton.
For the Golden Globe?
Yeah, because that would have been Best Actor in a Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy, I'm guessing. Because they have that bizarre ass category where
Daniel Craig for Knives Out.
Haven't seen
Leonardo DiCaprio, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Eddie Murphy for Dolomite Is My Name.
So that kid's in that company.
Yeah.
For this because the whole time I'm watching, this kid was so good, and the little girl in it was great too. Like the child actors in Jojo Rabbit were absolutely fantastic. Also, it's a good movie. It's worth watching. Best Picture, not over what else is nominated that I've seen, or other movies that I've seen this year that I like better. Nevertheless, a great movie. Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell's good at everything.
Always good. I'm going to say anything. This is one of those you need to watch it first, and then when you have it, everybody needs to see it, and then you talk about it.
Right.
Because I don't want to say anything. But it's not quite as quirky as the trailer makes it out to be. It has these, it's a comedy, but it's not quite, because the first 10 minutes, I'm like, this is just Moonrise Kingdom with Nazis. No, it's not. It's really good. And like I said, in a movie where you have two kid leads for the most part, and they carry it. And like I said, that kid, fantastic. Like I hope this wasn't like a one shot or like a one kind of moment for him where he did great and then you never hear from him again. But I think, again, he was nominated in a category with DiCaprio, Murphy, Taron Egerton, who absolutely is a fantastic actor. I don't care what anybody says.
I think he's great.
So
I enjoyed, I think, every movie he's been in. So.
Every movie I've seen him in that I could think of, I've absolutely enjoyed, and he was good in. So, and then what did we watch last night? We watched, there's a documentary series on Netflix, which was really interesting. If you like true crime documentaries, Don't Fuck with Cats. It's about the, and I remember hearing something about it a long time ago, but I never watched it because I don't watch that shit. A YouTube video is posted about a guy killing some cats. And people on YouTube go to try to find you're not getting away with this fucker, and they try to they've tried to find him and basically bring him to justice, and that's just the beginning of the rabbit hole.
I was going to say that happens a lot, doesn't it?
Well, this was back in the day, but this was several years ago. But if you like documentaries, it's a fantastic, a very interesting documentary, 3-part documentary, well done. There's a good job. There's not that there's necessarily sides to this, but they present, after watching it, I go to Wikipedia, go to other sources, read about and everything. Pretty on the money. I don't want to say anything else without spoiling kind of where it goes, because it like I said, it's very, very interesting for a doc. I always look for good documentaries. Always, if anybody knows any good documentaries, let me know. Love to watch documentaries.
I did recommend one to Trey the other day, which isn't quite a documentary, but it may as well have been.
Pretty much, yeah.
Look up Guy Walks in Straight Line Whales. W-A-L.
Yeah, the country whales, not whales. Not the mammal.
Right.
The oceanic mammal.
It's a 5-part series on YouTube. Guy with a camera walking in a straight line. That's pretty good.
Absolutely. It's better than most movies.
Right.
Or TV shows. Absolutely. I'm not even joking. I was riveting television to me. Shit. And there was one. What else did I see? There was one other movie we watched. What was it? What did we just? Oh, it was last night. Jesus Christ. Peanut Butter Falcon.
Yeah, I've seen that.
That movie was fantastic.
Yeah, very heartwarming.
Yeah, no, I don't want to say anything. But I didn't expect some face. Speaking of wrestling.
Yeah. Well, I've seen it. So.
Yeah. So not light spoiler. In the first 5 minutes, he's watching a wrestling tape.
Yeah.
What was Swamp? What was it? Saltwater Redneck. Thomas Hayden Church as a perfectly cast.
Yep.
There's some familiar faces that show up in the end, so that was, or near the end, that was great. But Shia LaBeouf, fantastic in this. And then
absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing that Honey Boy.
Yeah, because I think he directed that too, didn't he? Or wrote it, or he did something.
Everybody's talking about it like it's really, really good. Yeah. So it's definitely hyped.
Yeah.
But I want to see that.
But it's just Peanut Butter Falcon, it's quirky. It's just good. Like it's not necessarily a simple. Well, it is a simple story, but it's so superbly just acted, shot.
I think that's what it is. Like, yeah, it's just well acted.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Shia like knocked it out of the park. The main guy, Kevin or something was his name.
Yeah, I was worried they'd exploit that whole thing too much. I don't think they did.
I don't think they did at all.
Yeah.
At all. And of course, Don Johnson, Melanie Griffin's daughter.
Yeah.
But I forget his name, but not the tattooed up dude that's chasing him, but the other guy. He was in Winter's Bone. I forget his name. Fantastic actor. Looks like Ernest.
Right.
If Jim Varney was still alive, this is how he would kind of look.
Yeah.
A gritty Ernest. But Shane, I always call him Shane, but John Berthenol.
That's right.
Is in it.
Barely, probably one day of shooting.
Yeah, if that much.
Yeah.
But just really a good movie. Didn't expect it to be as good as it was.
Yeah.
Because the only reason I found out about it, Watch Mojo, not that they need more views, but it was like 10 movies, underrated movies that 10 great movies that nobody saw this year. Speaking of 2019, that was one of them, and then I just kind of. Half of them I'd seen, half of them never heard of, and that was one of them. So I kind of wrote them down and working on watching them. But that was one of them. But absolutely fantastic, just good, just made you there is faith in humanity, and that can it's just simple but entertaining, heartwarming, like you said. I think probably the best way to describe it. The sweetest damn film of the decade, close. It was good, very very good. So definitely recommend Peanut Butter Falcon if you like wrestling too. If you're, because that's a component of it.
It is.
But very, very good. And I think that's about all I've seen. Hobbs and Shaw, JoJo, Don't Fuck with Cats, trying to finish season 14 of Sunny, which I literally just started.
Mm-hmm. I've watched that.
Knocked that out pretty quick. Because they're only doing 10-episode seasons. So, because in fact, when I mentioned when I saw 13 was on Hulu, I mean, I think it was like 9 o'clock at night on a Saturday. Start.
Knock it out.
And fever dream by the end of it. All the stuff that went on in that season.
Do that next time.
So that's one reason, because we talked before, people are like, oh, you should watch, you never saw Lost, Trey, you should watch Lost. Yeah, how many seasons? Oh, like 7. Oh, okay, that's not too bad. How many episodes a season? 24. Nah, bro, I'm good.
And they're 42-minute episodes.
Yeah, how long are the episodes? Nah, look, I'm going to go Wikipedia the story and we'll call it even.
I did watch it after the fact when it was streaming, but I was sick for 4 days, and that's why.
No, I mean, of course.
I was like, what else am I going to do for 4 days?
Exactly. But I mean, in normalcy, when you're not sick or, you.
Oh, yeah. When you're able bodied.
Yeah. I don't want to. No. I mean,
you're not going to feel like sitting in one spot for that long.
No, these were 22-minute TV show episodes. Yeah. I'll fit that. We'll watch a movie at night. One episode of it, go to bed.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But also dramatic television for an hour. That's that much. Where you have to pay
stories linked from one thing to another.
Where I got to remember all this shit and all that. Nah,
bruh.
I don't even want to. I love Breaking Bad, but I don't want to watch that show again. I'll watch certain episodes again. I'll watch certain episodes again, but
Breaking Bad's so good.
Maybe in another 10 years, I'll watch it. I haven't felt
compelled to watch it again. As good as it is, I'll watch It's Sunny again.
Yeah,
it's episodic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll watch Simpsons.
If I'm passing by a television and Sunny's on, that's the gang gets pregnant or whatever. I'll pay attention to it. Same thing with IT Crowd, South Park.
Yeah, Breaking Bad had the Fly episode. That was about as episodic as it got.
A lot of people dissed that episode. I thought it was pretty.
Yeah.
Not ingenious is too strong a word, but
it was an episodic episode. Yeah, kind of just if you only watch that, you'd be like, oh, this is a weird show.
Yeah, what the hell is this about?
Right.
But Better Call Saul's about to come back. I think they said it. Yeah. I think they said it's their last season, and I think we talked about it before. But I like Better Call Saul better than Breaking Bad. Wow. Now, granted, you can't appreciate Better Call Saul
catch up on
without watching Breaking Bad.
Right.
So by itself, I can't say that'd be the same.
I wonder.
But better. I don't know. I mean, it's such a not simpler, but it's just I don't know. I never felt for Walter White. I wanted him. I felt for Jesse.
I think you're supposed to.
And I think at first you are, then it's supposed to get to where I'm just watching. I cared for Hank. Big mistake on my part. Mm-hmm. Although you know what's going to happen with that. Sure. I cared for Hank and I cared for Jesse. And then, of course, by the end, if you watch the show, obviously you know how that turned out. But then in Better Call Saul, like I don't really, Saul Goodman was just like he's a funny guy. He's Bob Odenkirk. He's a lawyer. Yeah, he's a sleazeball. Yeah. And then you watch Better Call Saul, like the depth, like they took that character that's basically a walking billboard and made it like this much of a story with, and Better Call Saul is just now getting to like barely, not even quite overlap, like maybe almost about to totally overlap, like cross over into where Breaking Bad starts.
Yeah.
Because
I'm about a season or maybe even 2 seasons behind.
Because I want to say they're starting the 5th season. It's either maybe it's the 4th, 5th or 4th, but I think this is supposed to be the last season. Maybe
that's what I've heard.
Pretty sure maybe it's the 5th. I can't remember.
They're about to start the 5th.
Okay, yeah. But I mean, it became its own thing. It's so it's a prequel. So but it does. I mean, we've seen the first season. I mean, it does tell you where he's in hiding, all the black and white stuff at the beginning of the episodes.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of know where he is after the fact, but then it's you're basically seeing what led to what happened before, what led him to be Saul Goodman from Jimmy.
That's the last episode I saw where he first mentions it.
Where he says it to Kim. Mm-hmm. Then you're caught up.
Oh, I am.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Where he was he had to get his license back or whatever, and he said, "Don't worry." Oh, he said, "Jimmy, what are you doing?" Like, it's not Jimmy, it's Saul Goodman. Yeah. It's Saul Goodman. So you're caught up.
It's all good, man.
Yeah. well, like in the first season, we're like, it's all good, man. Saul Goodman. Like
I am caught up.
That's where the name comes from. It's like it's those little things, and then you kind of know. So Gus Fringe is in, or is it Fringe? Is that his name? Gus Fringe?
Yeah, I think so. That's why.
Gus. I know it's Gus. I'm trying to think of his last name.
Gus Fring.
Yeah, and then of course you see how Don, what's his name, gets put in that situation with the bell.
Yeah.
All that. It's basically.
So I'm caught up. I'm so happy I'm caught up.
I like the whole relationship. The spoilers for Better Call Saul.
Right.
But, so we'll see next time if you don't want to hear it, but we're about to end it anyway. Just how they set up everything, and then just Jimmy's relationship with his brother, expertly played by Michael from Clue. Yeah, Mr. Michael. Green. I can never remember his damn name, and he's in like so much. Michael McCann.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Yeah. Because he's in Good Omens. He shows up in everything. Like, it's hard for me now because when I first
Michael McKean.
That's it. When I see him, of course, Spinal Tap. I mean, he's been in everything.
Comedic actor.
Yeah, I mean, but Better Call Saul. He's a fantastic dramatic actor too. Mm-hmm. It's surprising, but like I normally would see him like, oh, it's Mr. Green. Now it's like, oh, there's I forget his name now because he's not on the show anymore. But there's Jimmy's brother. God, what was his? You have it up there? What's his name in Better Call Saul?
The show?
James? No. Shit.
Chuck.
Yeah. Chuck. Let me tell you, because he says that a million times.
Yeah.
But Breaking Bad was, I don't know. I mean, it's really a different animal to me. Like in terms of like show, like same universe, just almost like different. Obviously different sides of it, but just the. I never rooted for Walter to get away with anything, or never I was just like, oh, how's he gonna get away with this? How's he gonna? Whereas in Better Call Saul, I'm just consistent, like Jimmy, no, please, Jimmy, don't do. Jimmy, you got, I care for this. Like, if I watch Breaking Bad now, I probably have a different perspective completely of his character, knowing why his character is like that. Because usually, when Better Call Saul was first, I was like, oh, a prequel series, and then started watching, like, holy shit, this is good.
Yeah.
Like fantastically good. It's a perfect companion series to Breaking Bad. Although I will still stand by it. I think Breaking Bad should have ended a season earlier than it did.
Well, they were riding a nice wave, and they had some really good episodes in that last season.
Well, half the season, and I'll definitely agree with that. I'd say a half season earlier, because the first half of season 5 for Breaking Bad was like, oh, we're gonna cook again. So let's do we'll pose as exterminators, and then the dude that's married to Kirsten Dunst now is going to get the kid killed, or however that turned out. And then mid-season finale, because that was a big deal back then, and that was only a few years ago, where mid-season finales were a big deal.
The third to last episode has a 10 on IMDb. How often does that happen? 110,000 people voting.
That's the episode where Hank gets killed?
Yeah.
Yep. That's why, because it's so fucking
Directed by same guy who made Star Wars.
Oh,
Rian Johnson.
I did not know that.
Yep.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah, Ozymandias. But great episode.
But the episode, like I think season 10 or 5, I should say. I think it's 10 episodes. But then you have all these. I was absolutely bored out of my mind with the show. Like, what's going on here? And then mid-season finale, Hank goes to the bathroom, finally puts the WW connection, Walter White. And then from that moment on, the next 4 episodes, whatever it was.
Yeah, 16 episode season.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Wow. So the next 8 episodes after that, or whenever after that episode, that's when that season.
Yeah, they drag it out.
Well, I mean, and again, it's completely transparent as why they did. They want another season. Yeah, they're going to make a shit ton of money. So there's a lot. It's the Walking Dead situation.
I just can't believe it's a 10.
I mean, it was a fantastic episode.
It was. It's just
one of the best episodes of. No, it might be the best episode of the series.
It's not the episode that I have against it. It's the users on IMDb that I'm surprised they let something go in balance. Of course, people did chime in. 5,000 people voted a 1, probably just to say,
to bring that down.
Yeah,
I mean, more like it's not.
It's like I wish people would just vote, with their hearts.
Yeah, but I mean, we live in the age where, like, again, off camera we were talking about. I like this episode. It should be the best episode of the series.
All right.
Or like, if The Fly episode of it was a 10, people would go on there like, that was the dumbest fucking episode of the entire series. I'm going to make fake accounts just to bring it down because this is stupid.
Yeah.
Instead of just like, instead of saying, I guess I'm missing something about this because people really like it. Fuck this. This is how it should be because I like it. My reality, what is Adam bring back the Mythbusters? I reject your reality and substitute my own.
Yeah.
That's basically what people, in this day and age with, the power that keyboard warriors have in all aspects of digital society. We're going to review bomb this movie because we're going to review bomb Captain Marvel because Brie Larson doesn't like men or whatever lame ass excuse people want to make a current hot topic issue for whatever. Star Wars Force Rise of Skywalker is getting review bombed, or this the new Legend of Zelda is getting review bombed at Metacritic. Whatever, like, what does that even mean? As if people aren't going to go see the new Star Wars movie, as if people aren't going to go buy the new Zelda game, as if people who watch the Marvel Cinematic Universe are not going to go see Captain Marvel. All you're doing, and that's why we're talking off camera. I think a lot of that, like, be it controversy, hype, it goes hand in hand. It's all created because these people are smart. They know how. Marketing people know how to control every one of us. Mm-hmm. They know, like, we're going to make a big deal about this. We're going to make it a big deal. We're going to put this. We need you. Steven, Mr. Spielberg. You need to add this. The studio wants you to add this line because we need a little buzz. We need a little something. It's a little spice on this film.
Yeah.
Or and don't. That is not a conspiracy theory. I guarantee you that shit goes on. I'm not an expert. But I mean, let's put on our logic caps of how we know the world works and what is the currency of the world. As it is always, it's money. So that's why Wayne's World, or even on this podcast. Yeah, I would never advertise a card game on my podcast. I would never advertise a local independent production studio on my podcast. If you're not watching it.
Productions.
If you're obviously not watching it, you don't get to see these. But I'm totally riffing on Wayne's World and all that. But anyway, we're getting on to soapbox territory, so we'll let it go for now. But yeah, so we'll be back next week. We'll finish off the second part of this bracket. And then after that, I think we'll pretty much just have kind of not the top 10. We'll have, let's see, 1, 2. Sorry if you're listening, just hear counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was 12, 13, 14, 17, 18. I have about 24. Yeah, roughly about 24 matches. And we'll probably just do that as the final one. Because the first one we kind of ended up being almost like 9 episodes or something. But
yeah.
That's because in the first 100 episodes, we did a whole bunch of classic movies.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about, the Richie Valens or the Becks from Leviathan or...
Well, you could stick them in arenas of 4.
Might have to do... Well, for the next 100, we're going to have to do that because we're talking super obscure people.
Right.
So... actually, the next 100 character battle might be 90s characters.
Make it a Royal Rumble. They just run in.
How do you even, that, like, we're not gonna have to get figures and like, okay, this would happen. Well, this is.
Well, it'd just be okay. This guy's, been poisoned, so he's eventually going to go out.
There's a way to do it, I'm sure.
Right.
So that might be a good idea when we get to this again in 100 more episodes. Yeah. Actually, 90. Let's see, where did I cut it off? Because let's see, The Fly 2 was before the Halloween stuff, I think. So about 92 more episodes. We'll have another one.
Nice.
Of episodes of movies, not of top 10 places to visit like last week or those little special episodes we do. So, but we're back next week. Continue the tournament. I estimate, maybe 1 or 2 more episodes for it. Then hopefully that'll buy me enough time to finish James Bond. So we can get caught up on. I can't caught up on that because I want to watch them. So far, I've watched them all up to Man with a Golden Gun in order. Kind of sick of them. I'm just waiting. I really want to get to the 80s ones because as a kid, the first one I ever saw was The Living Daylights, which was Timothy Dalton's first one. So, that's who James Bond is. Timothy Dalton was my first Bond. And of course, I'm watching. What are you watching? This is James Bond, Mommy. Like, Sean Connery was the best. Like, that's not, I'm a
What's
kid.
her
I don't
name?
know.
Pussy Galore?
Turn that off. Go outside and play. Yeah. But anyway, so we'll get to that soon enough. Like I said, I'm trying to stretch this out just a little bit so I can buy some time to get caught up with the Bond films because there's like 20 of these fuckers, and like we said earlier, they're all over 2 goddamn hours long.
Yeah.
So it ain't like I could binge watch the Pierce Brosnan ones because speaking of how I was talking about Hobbs and Shaw, ridiculous 90s, 2000s movies. They're in that vein because the Brosnan ones. Now, full disclosure, I think GoldenEye is the best goddamn Bond movie ever made. My personal opinion.
Followed by one of the better games based on a movie.
Yep, absolutely. So obviously, but we won't be talking about GoldenEye because it was the first one made in the 90s because Living Daylights and License to Kill were the last Bond films of the 80s in the decade we love to talk about here on the podcast. So, but I won't get to gush over my love for the film GoldenEye, which was the first time I ever saw Sean Bean die. And then after that, because we watched GoldenEye on repeat as much as we played GoldenEye.
Yeah.
Because it's fucking awesome. You got Famke Janssen, however you pronounce her damn last name.
Famke Janssen, yeah.
Yeah, choking people with her thighs, being all fucking hot and shit. And then
Jean Grey.
Still the best Jean Grey.
Yeah.
Film-wise. And then you have, I can't remember, Isabella, the redhead in GoldenEye,
right.
who I was absolutely in love with. Like when that movie came out, she was Isabella something, but she was actually married to the director of GoldenEye, Martin Campbell. I don't know if they're still married, but of course GoldenEye comes out. Everybody's like, "Oh, Xena Onatopp's gorgeous." Like, nah, that redhead is
Scorpio,
something like that. There she is. Yeah, she was in Rain of Fire too. She had a little career there for a bit.
Yeah, she's still in barely anything.
I'm looking for anything. The last thing that I've seen, Exorcist: The Beginning, is probably the last one I've seen. Well, yeah, that was the last film. But in GoldenEye, I had the biggest crush on her. Gorgeous.
Not married anymore.
Wait, she never was married to him. Or maybe they were dating or something.
No.
Because it was Martin Campbell was the director. I thought they were married.
Nope, apparently not.
My mistake.
She was married to a hockey player at the time. She was making, or right after that.
Oh, 95. So I think License to Kill was like 89, I think. So that's a pretty long hiatus for Bond films.
Yeah.
From 89, 6 years, which I don't know. As we're going through it, I'll look all that shit up.
Yeah.
When we're actually meant to be talking about Bond. But yeah, GoldenEye, full disclosure, I'm telling you right now, GoldenEye is my favorite Bond film. Moonraker might blow me away. I doubt it.
Don't count on it. Yeah.
But GoldenEye was whether or not it was a Bond film, it was a good action film. Mm-hmm. So this actually, here's your free taste of the 90s revisited right here. But I think already I still got 2 to 3 more films to get to the 80s Bonds. I'm in the Roger Moore era, so I'm close.
Yeah,
a couple more, and I'm in the 80s. But the thing is, usually in film, a hero's greatest enemy is the evil reflection of himself. for example, Spider-Man, Batman, the Joker, complete, anarchy versus that polar opposite villain. With Spider-Man, Venom at first, because Venom's a hero now, but the anti-Spider-Man, the anti-Batman, the anti-Superman. Those are usually my favorite villains for iconic characters because the basis of the good is fighting its antithesis. So you have the story there, you have the drama, you have the symbolism there. So when GoldenEye, spoiler if you haven't seen GoldenEye, which everybody fucking should have because it's one of the best action movies of the 90s.
Yep. My
opinion. And actually, I think that's a fact, if you ask me.
I mean,
but
it had story going with it, along with the action.
Yeah, I mean, a good story. It didn't go too overboard with the gadgets. A grenade and a pin. That's nothing. That's nothing like a car that turns invisible as we get to and die. It didn't go over the top. The gadgets and everything you used felt they weren't too ridiculous to where it took you out of it. You have big set pieces. You have Pierce Brosnan was supposed to be Bond, I think. And again, we'll go more into the facts when we get into it, but then we'll talk, get the GoldenEye talk out of the way so I can get hyped to finish these up because after I watch all the 80s ones, guess what I get to watch? GoldenEye. So I'm working at GoldenEye. And I mean, honestly, I think because after Living Daylights, I've seen all those multiple times. Seen GoldenEye at least 20 times. Like legit 20 times. I've seen Star Wars hundreds of times. I haven't seen Star Wars hundreds of times.
Right.
I've probably seen it 100 times. It's an expression, but I mean, I'm not, that's what I'm getting at. But I can assure you, I have seen GoldenEye at least 20 times.
Yeah.
In terms of being on in the background, playing World of Warcraft, me and my brother would just quote it all the time. He would always be like, hey, you want, mom would be like, go take the trash out and be like, she would tell us we'd do something. One of us would go, for England, James? No, for me. And we go, we would quote it all the time. It's like you said, it's like the Dark Knight. It's the Dark Knight of Bond films. What I mean by that is that if it didn't have Batman and if Heath Ledger didn't have face paint on and Christian Bale was in a cop uniform, it would still be a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
The story, the superhero is just like frosting, or it's just about because it's not about them being superheroes. It's about justice versus anarchy and all that. All the themes of that film are fantastic.
Yeah.
GoldenEye is about it's just standard good versus evil, but it's the greatest secret agent versus his evil twin. And who's playing the bad guy?
Yeah.
Sean Bean.
And also with the twist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So if you haven't seen it, kind of ruined it for you. But
most Sean Bean talking to Bond.
Most people have seen GoldenEye. Because GoldenEye
25 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Since 95. So, but GoldenEye also is what kind of kick-started Bond.
When you say that.
It restarted Bond again because then Brosnan had his run of 4. Now, granted, they get dramatically worse after GoldenEye, in my opinion. Although Die Another Day is ridiculous, but I love it. The other two in between. But Brosnan was always good as Bond. I think.
I agree.
But he was supposed to play Bond in the 80s, but he was, and we'll get into that in the Dalton ones. Although Dalton, he was a good Bond too. And having again, I'm working. I have a few more Roger Moore films to see, and then I've seen them all at least at one point. Although I'm working through them in order. But it's just Sean Connery was good. He was very good. But it's just those films, the way they were shot back then, just don't hold a candle to how things are shot now, which is logically, obviously, that's the case because films are made better now. But Connery's still great, but it's just Brosnan just had that I don't know, secret agent swagger. I don't know how to put it. You could tell he was born to be James Bond.
Yeah,
to me, and of course,
believable Bond.
Yeah, believable Bond. And then Daniel Craig. Swolt Craig. Fantastic. Don't get me wrong, fantastic actor, but his Bond films are so dramatic. Casino Royale was amazing because it was completely different from anything we had seen since the old ones. In terms of it wasn't very had its action spots, but it the climactic battle is a card game.
Yeah.
very interesting, Mr. Bond. You know, and then of course, how does it end? You know, you're waiting, and it's basically Bond Begins. You know, it's the reboot for Bond, and you know, but then all the other ones after that are just like too long. Get on with it. And you got villains like Javier Bardem and Christoph Waltz, and just like they're not threatening.
Yeah.
Put him to a table and put a laser between his legs or something. Don't just like, you know, say you lock him in a cage, you know, or like, no, it's I think it was Casino Royale where they like did the thing in the chair where the chair had no bottom, and they basically swing the thing and like hit him in the nuts.
I don't remember that.
It was one of his, because I was like, what is going on here? And then like they're like swinging like it's a weighted thing. He's tied
I haven't
to like
watched many of the Daniel Craig ones.
They're not good.
Yeah, I've never was crazy about Daniel Craig. For one, he replaced the best Bond.
Yeah.
To me.
Well, see, it's kind of the problem with Bros. Or I say the problem, but he was the best Bond in the best Bond film, but arguably also Bond in some of the worst ones.
Right.
So,
I mean, everybody sides with Sean Connery, but
I mean, he's great. Roger Moore's great.
yes,
Honestly, like even George Lazenby was not that good, which is why I only did one. He wasn't, as I always heard, like, oh, he was. I never saw it till I was watching all these in a row, and it was like, you know, I've never seen this one, but I know he was in a model or something. He only acted in this one. But he wasn't terrible. But also, you're following up, you know, Connery, Lazenby. I think Connery came back for another one after that. Got like paid $5 million or some ridiculous price at that point for a salary for an actor, and then Moore comes in, and then you know, I mean, they're all good for the role, but it's like when the second somebody says Bond, I see Pierce Brosnan. You know, I mean, not just because of the game, because of the movie was so damn awesome.
Yeah,
the bungee jump in the beginning, the stunts, all that stuff, and he fights Sean Bean. Mm-hmm. Yes, the tank chase. Mm-hmm. Still a great, you know, a lot of practical, a lot of green screen in the film, but a lot of practical stuff too. So, just anyway, there's your preview for Bond month, or it's gonna be longer than a month because there's like 6 Bond films in the 80s. And I think when I did the graphic though, I didn't have Never Say Never on there, which although it's not canon, it's still like considered a Connery Bond film because. We'll get into that when we talk about it, but like the studio rights, like they had the rights, the studio had the right to do one more or something, so it's technically not canon because it takes place between Roger Moore's, but it's still Sean Connery being the character.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, very weird. Because I was like, wait, why is
he back?
Because if you look at the list chronologically, go to Wikipedia for like Bond movies, and it'll say like this one, and then like asterisk, 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 not canon, not canon, not canon, because Casino Royale has been remade like 3 times.
Right.
And then I didn't watch the other ones. Like, I mean, the one before Connery was even Bond or something, like super old. Because I just started from Dr. No, and from the one everybody considered Sean Connery's first one, and just working through all 20, about 321. I don't know. I'm stopping at Casino Royale. I will be perfectly honest with you. I know a good friend of ours, Josh, is a huge Bond fan. Like you were saying earlier, I will watch all of them once. I watched the new one once.
I mean, technically, when you reach GoldenEye, you probably have caught up, like because you've seen them before.
Well, once I get to Dolphins, I've seen them all at least once.
Right.
In fact, License to Kill was one that I would rent all the time because the reason I did it was PG-13, so I could go. I turned 13 around that time, or shortly, so I could go rent it. I mean, excuse me, I wasn't even 13. They would let me rent that movie at the video store. Because, without getting parents' permission.
Sure.
Because it's PG-13. So I would rent License to Kill a whole bunch. And I was like, because what's her name? Talisa Soto, who was Princess Kitana in the Mortal Kombat movie, was in it. And she was hot in that movie. As a 9-year-old me was watching it. So, but yeah, so once I get to Living Daylights, I've seen, for sure, Living Daylights. I've seen, at that point, I have seen them all. But again, in terms of chronological order, I'm going to, once we get past, once Casino Royale, once the end of that and he says Bond, James Bond, I'm just gonna thank you, bow,
and good
night. I don't want to watch Quantum of Solace. I mean, Skyfall was good visually, like Sam Menendez. It's visually stunning. Like, but again, what's the runtime of this movie? 2.5 hours. Get on with it.
Right.
But anyway, drawn on long enough about the preview of Bond month. But yeah, that is the plan. Finish up this. catch up on Bond where I'm in the 80s so I can actually watch ones that I'm going to be talking about. Because the biggest thing, personally, for this podcast, it's happened before on some films. I'll watch it. I watch a movie we're going to talk about, and then something comes up, and we don't do the podcast for 2 weeks or a month or 6 months.
Right.
Whatever happens, so it's like, I don't want to watch that movie again. Or maybe I do. Maybe it's a good movie. But, I like to watch it in close proximity when we talk about it, so it's fresh. So if there's a tip for you podcasters out there. If you're talking about movies, do yourself a favor and watch it, either right before you podcast. We used to do that way back at your old house. Yeah. We'd watch it, me and you and Daniel, some of them, and then we would go do the podcast. Just helps to keep you fresh and so you don't forget any nuances or jokes you want to make or all that stuff. So that's what I'm trying to do. Because I want to watch. I've started this journey. I've gone through 11 films already, however many I've gone through.
We did that with Star Wars, I remember.
Oh, yeah. What, for Daniel's birthday? Yeah, watch one podcast. Watch one podcast.
People, that one.
Yeah, sorry for the bad audio for the person that gave us a bad review on that one, but that was the early days, man.
It was. We scrapped up whatever mics we could back then.
Yeah. I mean, we had like 8 people in a room.
But yeah. Yeah, it was hard to mic 8 people.
Yeah, so if you can't hear, sorry.
Especially whenever they all were they weren't used to it.
Yeah.
They were just having a conversation.
I mean, literally,
they would just have the mic down here.
And of course, Caveman, whose voice you hear predominantly on those, he didn't need a mic because
he didn't. But I mean, he's an audio guy. Yeah. You'd think he would know.
But if you listen to those, because we did have what was his name? Oh, you missed shout out since he's working his way towards this one. So when he hears this episode, he'll be, oh wow, they mentioned me.
Oh yeah, from Facebook. He's not going to hear this for probably.
He's going pretty fast.
He's listening to like 4 a day or something like that.
So, Mike Hastings.
Mike Hastings.
I think he said he was in Canada or something. Canada.
It's cold right now.
Maybe I made that up. No, I didn't. Hold on. Yeah. Ontario, Canada, eh?
Hey.
So, yeah. So, Mike, when you get to this one, this tells you when pretty much this is a day after you sent that message on Facebook.
Yep.
We're talking about the character showdown. So, hopefully you make it this far. Drop us a line, all that kind of fun stuff. Of course, if anybody else listening, you disagree with Daniel Craig as Bond, like I talked about, you disagree with any of the character battle, you don't like the shirt I'm wearing, whatever, 80svisit@gmail.com, 80svisit on Instagram, 80s_visited on
Instagram, yeah.
Yeah. Which I did when I was on vacation, when I went to certain movie sites, I did post some pics on there, not too many because I only went to a couple of them while we were there.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, of course, I don't travel that much anymore because of the baby until she gets a little older. However, whenever I do anything 80s related or worth posting on Instagram, I'll put it on there. If more people like it,
you won't get spammed. Get more. So go ahead and follow it.
This is not a cry for more likes. If more people like it, obviously I'll post more. But it's not obviously as long as you're listening. This is a podcast, not I'm not an Instagram influencer.
Right.
So, but if that's your social media platform du jour, by all means, let me know and I'll post more on that. Yeah. So, you should post more anyway, but as typical with my life, it's just busy. People don't show up for work because the second people start working for me, somebody in their family dies, or cows get out, or they murder their boyfriend. Literally, all 3 of those things have happened to employees I have in my business at one point. I'm not even fucking kidding.
Yeah.
So, I just need good, reliable help that doesn't get cursed from starting to work.
If you have any employment tips, send them over to 80s Revisited.
Chick-fil-A, how do you do it? How does everybody at Chick-fil-A have the biggest fucking smile on their face? And there's 20 people in there working.
That could be why. 20 people. Split all the work up.
But then what's there to do?
Entertain each other.
I mean, personally, I love being busy in terms of like not to where like I don't have people to cover the work I need, but like I like... Okay, I gotta get all this done today. No problem. Let me go to my playlist. Boom.
Done.
But now, like, okay, this person didn't show up. This person's coming in late. I gotta do this. Then I can get to my stuff. That has to be done by noon. Blah, blah, blah. That's entrepreneur talk with Trey and Jesse. But anyway, next week we'll finish one step closer to the character death match. And one step closer to Bond. Mm-hmm. So until then, I remain Trey Harris.
Jesse Sedgley.
Cowabunga!